10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? Loyal members of the Wrestle Talk family. Surprise! It's your boy, the Night Owl. So, ¿qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? Here for a very special pre-Christmas episode of the WTP, baby! Now, if we want to be precise, because we want to be precise, we're going to go ahead and let you guys know this is episode 531. This is actually only my second appearance since episode 500. And let me just tell you guys, what a pleasure. It is un placer poder estar aquí, to be here with you, my amigos and my amigos, or amigos y amigas of the Wrestle Talk podcast family. And let me tell you, I feel like a kid who's jumping back on the bike. I feel a little wobbly, but the blood is flowing. I feel the electricity. And honestly, it's just a matter of time before I settle back in, because already so early on in the show, we've got a lot of live viewers. So let me just take a moment to thank you guys for giving us just a moment of your time right here on episode 531 of the Wrestle Talk podcast. What are we going to be doing here tonight? Well, it's very simple, amigos. We're going to have a little bit of a year-end review. This show is dedicated to the fans. And you know what? I'm feeling in a generous mood. You can call me Night Owl Claus if you want, because I feel like giving some shit away. My whole closet back here, literally the one behind the guitar here, is filled with pro wrestling memorabilia. I'm talking about original stuff. Old back in the day NWO stuff. I got action figures. I got magazines. I got local indie stuff. You name it, I got it. So today, my friends, is going to be the day where you are rewarded for tuning into the Wrestle Talk podcast. I got my boys in the back. They're watching who's sharing, who's commenting, who's subscribing, and who is staying tuned in the longest throughout tonight's broadcast. Shout out Alyssa, Jasmine, AJ, Susie, Roblox Trader, Herb Simmons, and everybody else who's peeping us live. Again, if y'all never seen me before, I am the Night Owl MX. You can find me on all social media platforms. I'm a commentator, content creator. I'm a lot of y'all dudes' big brother. And I'm 41 and I can still throw hands, so don't talk shit. Well, listen, this ain't all about me, guys. This is about the members of the Wrestle Talk podcast family. This is about celebrating the holidays. And let me tell you this. Tonight's show is jam-packed. We literally were running about 30, 40 minutes late tonight to the broadcast because we wanted to upload all the best topics. We wanted to go down memory lane and even honor some of those incredible contributors to the world of professional wrestling that we lost in 2025. So, as the boys in the back continue to do their work, let me introduce one of my co-hosts for this evening's festivities. Ladies and gentlemen, I consider him my big bro, a mentor, an incredible friend, and also a guy that keeps running scared from me on Red Dead Redemption. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a Hall of Famer. He did show up in his Sunday best tonight. My friend and yours, the one and only Luke Skywalker. I told you I'm a little rusty. Luke Skywalker Roberts.
Night owl. Episode. You know what? You said you're keeping an eye on everything. You got all the guys and gals in the back. You're checking it thrice. You're not checking it twice. You're checking it thrice tonight here as a part of the last episode of 2025. And I can't believe that we're that far along, Night Owl, that 2025 in the world of professional wrestling is just about over. And when you talk about everything in the world of professional wrestling, like you, I've been away for a while myself. I've been traveling the globe, making sure that we can keep things up to date here on the program. But tonight, again, we're bringing the wrestling fans the best in professional wrestling right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. We want to give a shout out to all the great fans, shout out to all the great promotions, because there's a lot of promotions that have been supporting the Wrestle Talk podcast. And I'm going to tell you right now, Night Owl, when you sit back and look at things, and again, I'm not going to pull the curtain back a little too much, but tonight alone, you could be talking about the WWE. You could be talking about Triple A. You could be talking about TNA. You could be talking about AEW. You could be talking about countless different television and multimedia outlets. The world of professional wrestling, the landscape of professional wrestling changed in the year 2025, and there are a lot of great topics to talk about. But you know something, Night Owl? I'm just going to level with you right now. I think it's the other way around. I think you're running scared from me on the Red Dead Redemption, because you know something. Every time it seems like I'm on the wonderful world of the video gaming. It just happens that you. I mean, again, I got to give you a shout out, man. I'm digging the new studio, the new set. I got to tell you, it's quite happening. And again, this is the perfect way to wrap up 2025 right here with all the great viewers of the Wrestle Talk podcast.
Well, I could not agree more, Skywalker. And I'm very proud of the new setup. I have to admit, it was a long time coming. You know what else I'm really proud of? Of the fact that as great as this show continues to be and how it evolves over time, we're far from perfect. You're going to run into some technical difficulties from time to time. It's to be expected. But what we don't forget, Skywalker, is where we came from, because we could sit here all night and brag about all the incredible people we've had an opportunity to interview, all the promotions that are constantly knocking on our doors, trying to get in on the guest lineup. So what I want to try to do today is make sure that we don't forget where we come from. So I'm going to challenge everybody that comes on as the host lineup during tonight's show to highlight a promotion in your area that you want people to know about. And I'm going to go ahead and lead by example, if that's okay, Luke Skywalker Roberts, because there is a promotion right in my neighborhood that I would like to highlight, okay? And the promotion that I would like to highlight, ladies and gentlemen, is my friends over at Mid-States Wrestling. You heard that right. Mid-States Wrestling. As everybody knows, the world has been ablaze about everything that's going on in the Midwest, particularly with a particular football team moving from one particular state to another particular state. So everybody knows that the bee's knees and the happenings is happenings in the Midwest. One of those things, friends, is Mid-States Wrestling. So let me highlight for you guys just a couple of the incredible, talented young men that are going to be on the card. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Colton Balt, Niles Plunkett, Luke Langley, Moonshine, Burt Cameron, Jay Fowler, Scott Hansen. The list goes on and on, my friends. Christmas Bash. It's the 3rd annual Christmas Bash. It is taking place at the National Guard Armory. That's 301 North Woodbine Road in St. Joseph, Missouri. So, friends, if you happen to be in the area, make sure you let them know that the WTP baby sent you to support your local independent professional wrestling promotion, because that's what the Wrestle Talk podcast is all about, my friends, highlighting the incredible and talented promotions, wrestlers, commentators, referee, ring guys, ticket takers, concession folk. That is what the Wrestle Talk podcast is all about. That's why we say we don't forget our roots here at the WTP. So I cannot wait, Skywalker, for the rest of the team to show up and highlight their promotion from their area so that our fans know exactly where to take their 10 or 15 bucks and spend it well the next time they're looking to take their family out for a good time. What do you say?
Well, I got to tell you right now, Night Owl, again, that's a promotion that if you haven't had a chance to check out Mid-States Wrestling, you need to check them out. I mean, when you got people the likes, and you left out one, too, you left out Austin Militello, a man who's really been making waves in the Midwestern professional wrestling scene.
I couldn't pronounce the last name, and I didn't want to butcher it, okay? I love
Austin,
get you, but I knew I was going to say it wrong. I knew
I was going to say it. Well, you know something, Night Owl? I'm going to throw it out here. As you talked about earlier on, being a Hall of Famer, and it's still kind of hard to wrap my brain around that. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm actually going to take a little bit of a step here, and I want to throw out 2 promotions I want to give a shout out. The first one is going to be taking place, I believe we got the graphic.
Whoa, Skywalker, wait. Let's sprinkle them throughout the show. I just gave mine. I know you got excited. You're that kind of guy. I don't blame you. But if it's okay with you, let's go ahead and sprinkle that in here in a couple of minutes. That way we make sure that we're showing the love throughout the entirety of the show. Are you okay with that?
That is true, but I got 2, and that's the reason why, because being a Hall of Famer like I am, I'm going to be actually representing the Hall of Fame at one, and then I'm going to be a part of the commentary team at another. So, you know something, Night Owl? We got 2 of them that are there, and we've got everything ready to rock and roll and get things taken care of. But without too much further ado, one thing we do need to take care of, we've talked about all of our great fans, all the great supporters of the Wrestle Talk podcast. But of course, I would be remiss, and if we can go ahead and get them popped up on the screen to talk about all those great sponsors that help us each and every week make sure this program gets to the airwaves. We have Retro Zone. We have Painter's Green Productions, home of the one and only Big Daddy P, the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. We've got Doomed Outfitters, the WDWA World Domination Wrestling Alliance, and the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. Also, matter of fact, you can check them out every other week as a part of WDWA Elevation, which is hosted by Gavin and, of course, our broadcast colleague, Big Hoss, going to be broadcasting that program each and every other week. And of course, I know coming up soon, we're going to be talking about things called FWWC. We got a lot of things, a lot of people that support the program each and every week to make this program what it's been for 500 plus episodes. And Night Owl, from top to bottom, we got a lot of great fans, a lot of great supporters, and I know you're wanting to give a lot of great stuff away too here. I got to tell you right now, and I know it's coming close. There is going to be, and I'm hoping that by the end of the week, the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame will have one of 2 major announcements to be able to be shared throughout all the great media of the Wrestle Talk podcast, not only talking about the upcoming 2026 induction ceremony, but also a way that you can learn, as the Night Owl has for many, many years. You learn about professional wrestling. You always learn about the history, and the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame is wanting to provide that resource to all of our great fans, not just of the Wrestle Talk podcast, but of professional wrestling overall. And I'm going to tell you, Night Owl, it's been a long time coming. Big Daddy P, several others, yourself included, have been helping out. And soon enough, there's going to be a monumental resource, something that you don't see every day in the world of professional wrestling. And the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame is going to have that available.
Well, man, I am incredibly excited about what 2026 is going to bring. And I'm excited about what tonight's going to bring, because it's not just you and me. I believe we're going to have the one and only Hardcore Hoss as a part of this ensemble. He has worked his butt off leading into tonight's show. He helped us with a big part of the prep. So shout out to you, John. All you got to do is let us know when you're ready. Come on, baby. You did all the heavy lifting. I think you deserve a little time in the spotlight. Oh, he's ready. All right. So, Skywalker, do me a favor. I introduced you. Why don't you go ahead and introduce my brother here, man, because he deserves a warm and proper introduction as well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the Wrestle Talk podcast, you know this man as one of the sounding voices of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Every time we take to the airwaves, you can also catch him on WDWA Elevation. This man is all across his area. He's bringing professional wrestling to the East Coast. He is the man behind the scenes, the man with the plan, the original, one and only. There can only be one when you talk about this man. And ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to this episode of the Wrestle Talk podcast, the one, the only, Hardcore Hoss.
What up, Big Hoss? How's the double champ doing tonight? Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? It's absolutely great to be here. You know, it's we were off to a little bit of a rocky start, but we got it rolling and we are here. We're going to make the best of it and can't wait to get into everything we got going tonight. Night Owl, it's great to see you back. Luke, it's great to see you back as well, because it's been a little bit since you've been here as well. So, you know, great to have you guys back and great to be here with you. How you guys doing tonight?
Night Owl, I'm going to let this go to you, my friend.
Well, listen, all I can say, Hardcore Hoss, that it's absolutely incredible to be as removed as I am from everything that happens here on a week in, week out basis, and to just be able to pop in and do this. And again, feel like a kid, you know, trying to jump back on the bike after a little while. It's a little nerve-wracking, and it's a lot of fun. And it just reminds me of how much work this is. And to have gotten as far as we have with 530 plus episodes, bro, it just makes me proud. That's how I feel. I feel proud that I can tune back in months and months after I stop hosting on a regular basis. And Old Reliable is still here. Good old Wrestle Talk podcast takes a licking and keeps on ticking. So, yeah, that's how I feel, Skywalker. I feel proud.
I couldn't agree with you more, Night Owl. I mean, again, it's one of those things. The Wrestle Talk podcast, as we says in the intro, the premier professional wrestling podcast. You name it, we cover it. Whether you talk about independent wrestling, we talk about it. You talk about regional promotion, we talk about it. You talk about national promotions, you talk about it. And again, I look back at all these things. And Merry Christmas to you, Herb Simmons, the promoter, the man with the plan behind SICW. They're going to have some big things happening as we talk about things here in 2026 as well. I got to tell you right now, tonight's show is going to be great. But again, as you talked about, you've got three men who all bleed the Wrestle Talk podcast, who believe in the Wrestle Talk podcast, who have been here for sometimes I was going to say way too many episodes, but you know what, guys? This is what we love to do. We are professional wrestling fans. We are professional wrestling journalists as well. And when it comes down to it, professional wrestling is where our heart is. And tonight, I mean, we're going to have it. It's like they say in the Grinch, our heart is going to grow about 36 times tonight because of all the great things that have gone on in the world of professional wrestling. And if you would have gone back a year ago and said some of the things that have taken place have happened, we all would have said you were out of your minds. But now tonight, we're going to have an opportunity to talk about these things. And I'm going to tell you, it's hard to keep up with professional wrestling, not because of all the great action, because that's hard enough in itself, but all the great things that are happening in the world of professional wrestling. It's kind of like back in the Attitude Era. Professional wrestling is finally once again getting its just due. And gentlemen, I do want to go ahead and take just a second here. Little bit of bad news that I do need to share. Want to give a shout out to all of the brothers here in the St. Louis area in the professional wrestling scene. We did lose a great competitor here just a few short days ago, that being Nikki Strychnine. I know it's been all over the internet as of late. Again, man who, as the nickname says, hatred walking. He went out there, and trust me, you could not, there was nothing that rattled this man. There was nothing that he wouldn't have any way, shape, or form of saying it. But again, I want to give a shout out to his family, a shout out to all the brothers and the sisters here in the St. Louis wrestling community as we get ready to move on to 2026. We would be remiss if we didn't extend our condolences to the family of Nikki Strychnine.
Yeah, no doubt. And let's just make sure we keep that in the back of our minds in case we're able to get Big Daddy P up in here, because, we got to send our prayers up. Always tragic, whether it's somebody that's been around the business for a long time, Skywalker, or if it's somebody that's fairly new. One life loss is a tragedy. Love and respect from WTP, the whole fam, to their whole fam. So shout out especially to our all of our friends on the Illinois side and on the Missouri side of the state line. We love you guys, and it's always tough, always tough. Hoss, any thoughts there?
Yeah, just like you say, it's definitely something, to keep in mind this time of year, and it's always hard to lose anybody. And this time of year is just, it's hard on a lot of people, and a lot of people get really depressed and down this time of year, and it's within reason. And so just definitely prayers go out to their family, and just prayers go out to a lot of people this time of year that just really seem to go through it. And so, yeah.
Well, gentlemen, we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight too. And I mean, again, that's one thing that makes professional wrestling so cool. And again, it's the idea of where professional wrestling fans, whether it's from the KC area or the St. Louis area or the West Virginia area on the East Coast. And shout out to Nikki O'Shaughnessy of the Independent St. Louis Wrestling
There's my
Hall of
dog.
Fame.
What's up, Nikki? Nikki, that's my dog. Hey, Nikki, next time we're going to hang out just like last time. I love you, man. I miss you so much. Had such a great time this last year when we got to honor all of our friends. And I think we had the best seat in the house. I'm going to be honest with you. And I had a hard time keeping the broadcast straight because my partner in crime, I was cracking up the entire time. So, Nikki, great to see you. Can't wait to have a cold one with you next time I see you. we could not stop laughing the whole night, bro. It was great. It was great.
And to give you an idea here, I mean, again, the wrestling community as a whole, doesn't matter where you come from, we all bond together because of the fact that we all, and shout out to Barbie too, long time friend of the show. But when you sit down and you talk about professional wrestling, we all, I mean, and again, it consumes us as a part of our life. And to be able to talk about professional wrestling and again, to have that support system in place really is something that's very vital. And again, that's how I've got in professional wrestling as long as I have been. A lot of things going on. The good doctor himself, Dallas Stevens, coming in. I'm going to tell you right now, he got a raw deal at the hands of PYT. We're not going to dwell on that because 2026 is going to be big for the Junkies for Fame as well. But like I said, right now, guys, we've talked about a lot of things. But Night Owl, I'm a level. In all the years I've known this program, we're going to
keep I know what you're about to do. We got to keep the tradition. I didn't forget.
I know you didn't forget.
I know what you're trying to do. But I do have a question for y'all. Okay. Here's the first brain stump of the night. And I've heard people argue both sides of this. Is it year-in review or year-end review? Because I've heard it said both ways. In my mind, it's year End Review, but the show name is Year in Review. So can we put up a poll or something? I don't know what my people out there is thinking. I don't care if I'm right or wrong. I just want my stupid sign to be right. I just want the sign to make sense, y'all. So I don't know.
You know what you should do, Night Owl?
I don't know. I'm confused.
You know what you should do? You should go ahead. We'll keep the poll. And at some point during the program, if the poll decides to be higher for a year in review, all you got to do is while we're talking about a topic, you can go ahead and change that lever. We're not going to tell anybody any different.
Here. They're old school, bro. It's literally a pinboard. Like, this thing is from the 80s, my boy. It's older than me. This thing is from the 80s. All right, go ahead. I know what y'all want to get into. I'm ready to have my eardrums blown out. Let's go.
All right. Well, you know something, Night Owl? In all the years I've known this program, all the way back to the Stroke Ain't No Joke event. And that's a name from the a show name from the past. Rest in peace, TNT Kenny J.
I want to say that this is a family show because a second ago you were talking about polls and now you're talking about stroking. So we got to take it easy, okay? You got to relax, my man. You got to relax.
Now, as we say though, again, ever since that first show when we had we brought up Stroke Ain't No Joke and the late TNT Kenny G, there is one thing that's been done, and I'm gonna tell you right now, when it comes down to it, there's only two men that do this introduction justice. And if Nightmare Jones, Joe Lance isn't here, which I know he's listening, I know he's tuning into the show tonight. But you're ready to rock and roll, and you have your Wrestle Talk podcast mug on top of it.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm the only one here not slacking on my napkin or slipping on my nipping. I got my stuff, bro. I'm here. I'm here. I'm late, but I'm here.
Night Owl, we're going to go ahead. We're going to throw it to you because when it comes to this introduction, there's only two men who do this right each and every time. It doesn't matter if it's been one show, 50 shows, 500 shows. You are the man with the plan. So let's go ahead and turn the little cameras over to the Night Owl and take care of the little piece of business, as he says, to keep us sharp like a number 2 pencil.
Okay, gotcha. So I'm going to have you guys kind of take the little, see if we can get this done. All right. So our flag's over here in the corner. Like, I don't know if you guys can see it. All right, there it is. You guys see it back there? So my flag is here. I don't want to be accused of faking it, but it's too big. The pole is too big. That's a big pause there because I know Skywalker got excited on that one. But, ladies and gentlemen, and it's been such a long time, I'm going to ask everybody to please respectfully remove their caps, place their hands over their hearts as we pay homage to the greatest country on God's green earth. And, of course, my friends, that's America, damn it. Hit it. Oh, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we do each and every time, we want to give a shout out to the greatest country in the world, that being the United States of America. I also want to give a shout out to all of our first responders, all of our military personnel who help us, especially
they're
this time
asking
of year.
what kind of flag it is. Hold on, time out. Sorry. Over here, guys, it's the American flag. What other flag would it be? Jeez Louise. Come on, Nikki, get with the program. Go ahead, Skywalker. Sorry.
Well, you say we got to give a shout out to our first responders and our military personnel who protect our country, especially this time of year when we're getting the opportunity to be with our families, to be with our loved ones during the holiday season. They're having to go out and be out protecting us to make sure that we can stay safe and sound each and every day. So a shout out to all of our great first responders and to our military personnel as we pay homage to America to start off our program, as we always do right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. And again, as a reminder, share this show. There's going to be so much wrestling talk tonight, so many different topics. Everybody's going to have a chance to step in. And a matter of fact, I'm just
Nikki
gonna leave
tried
it
to
right
call me
there.
out. She tried to call me out. Now she's acting salty. That's what you get. You that out. You a beak. You hurt? No, I'm just playing. Love, sis, love.
All right. Well, like I said, at this point, guys, I'm just saying tonight, you don't know who's going to pop up, when they're going to pop up, where they're going to pop up, but we got a lot of great information. So, Night Owl, is it time to start talking about the craziness of 2025, or do we have somebody else hanging out in the wings?
I'm so ready. Just two quick reminders. Everybody who comes on will talk about a local independent promotion. I hit mine. Luke hit one of his. He's got two. John, we'll get to yours later.
You gave me the tease. I haven't officially talked about either one of them yet.
Oh, you have? Okay. So you kind of hit the surface of some things in your area, but you're right. You didn't highlight a particular promotion, so I'll give you that. So number one, we want to highlight local because that's what we like to do. We're not just a WWE podcast. Everybody knows that. Number two, I'm trying to give some stuff away today, so kind of keep this interaction going. I love the fact that we're in the double digits throughout all social media platforms. We absolutely love that. You know what would be even cooler? If you got the gusto, okay, because I know most of y'all ain't going to work tomorrow, so don't even try to play with the Night Owl. I can smell a rat when I see one, okay? Join us. We will send you the link. You can pop on screen with us, and you can join the fun trash-talking extravaganza. I don't know what would be better than that. And here's the word on the street. If you don't hurry up and get on, I got my man, the CEO, in the wings, ready to come on in just a few minutes, hit some hot topics with us, talk his trash, wish you guys a Merry Christmas, and talk a little FWWC. So if you want to join us, either particularly Hardcore Hoss, he's the best at helping people get set up. Go ahead and shoot him a message. Send me a message. Send Skywalker a message. You want to jump on? You got a hot take, man? We want to hear about it right here on episode 531. Right, guys? We want this to be interactive, y'all, right? I'm hoping that's
most
true.
Definitely, Night Owl, most definitely. And now, since we talked about it, I want to go ahead and put on, as again, we talk about wearing many hats, just like you are. And again, I got to give you props for the hat, Night Owl. Again, if Jimmy Harris being invited to the party, see what happens, Night Owl. You pick on Nikki O'Shaughnessy.
I appreciate you saying that. Go ahead.
You pick on Nikki O'Shaughnessy, and now big time Jim Harris is going to step in here. And right now, as you see here,
I'm supposed to be scared of somebody that fights like this. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. You know who you're talking to. Bring it. No, just.
Well, now that I got the big boss on the air, I do need to.
Like that.
We're gonna calm you down a little bit. Hardcore Hoss, we gotta make sure we gotta calm him down.
They're antagonizing me, bro. They're antagonizing me.
We gotta calm him down. But I know one thing that will calm you down. And Hardcore Hoss, if you would be so kind to pull up the graphic, so we're gonna sprinkle them throughout the show. I'm gonna take care of my little bit of Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame business and let people know that on January 17th in Muscuda, Illinois, Luke Roberts will be in attendance. I think we got the graphic here for New Genesis Wrestling. I believe the graphic is backstage here. I hope it is. If not, we'll figure it out. There you go. NGW Cold-Blooded Lou Civic Center, Muscuda, Illinois. Again, a lot of great wrestling. It's going to be my first time at NGW. And I'm going to tell you right now, they've welcomed me with open arms. They've welcomed the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame with open arms. And I'm going to tell you right now, when we get there January 17th, there's going to be a lot of things going on. And I'll tell you right now, if you're in Muscuda, if you're in the greater Metro East area of St. Louis, check them out. You will not be disappointed. I mean, again, there's a lot of great wrestlers, a lot of new faces to the St. Louis area, and make sure to check out New Genesis Wrestling on January 17th in Muscuda at the Lou Civic Center. Gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now, that's 1 of 2, and I'm going to level with you. Night Owl, I know that you're all about cool posters. I know that you're all about cool promotion. I've been around wrestling a long time, far too many years for my own personal taste. But when it comes down to it, the other promotional poster I've got, I'm going to tell you right now, has to be the coolest promotional poster I've ever seen in my career.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a teaser in show business. We call that a teaser. So if you want to see what that's all about, you're going to have to hang out for later. And as a matter of fact, you think I'm out of pocket right now. Wait till I get to my shoot and shout. if y'all want a reason to cancel me, I promise you, I'm gonna give you several. But tonight, Skywalker's like, why did I decide to come back today when this big mouth this same day? I'm telling you, I got to shoot and shout for the ages for you guys tonight. So make sure you tune in because we're bringing that back. I heard that in my absence, Hardcore Hoss, Mr. I'm the program director now. All of a sudden, he cut the best segment of the show. I don't know, man. We'll talk about it later, but I'm hurt. I'm telling you right now, I'm personally hurt. All right, that's when one of you guys jumps in. Go.
You know something, Night Owl? I'm gonna defend Hardcore Hoss here because Hardcore Hoss has been working hard, taking care of things. He's really stepped up his game. But I mean, with the cast of characters he has to deal with, I mean, again, you talk about Gabriel Arsene, you talk about Ace, you talk about Nightmare Jones, you talk about the Maestro, anybody who pops in. This man's the man with the plan. So you got to give him a little bit here. And Assad joining us here.
I like that. NG Dub. That's a great plug too. I didn't mean to cut your. I didn't mean to line.
Oh no,
Skywalker.
No, my friend.
Show. That's gonna be a tremendous show. And it being in the St. Louis metro area, you can basically be in Alton. You could be in downtown. You can be by the river. It doesn't matter, man. You can get your butt down there. It's not a big deal. With tickets, I'm sure are relatively well priced, $10 to $20 a pop. I mean, and that lineup, I know you said a lot of young talent. I saw Ricky Cruz on there. That's a Hall of Famer in my book. I mean, there's a lot of great talent there, man. So
most definitely. You know something, Night Owl? I was just thinking about something here. We've got to make it a point. This is my 2026 resolution. We got to get Hardcore Hoss to the Midwest. I mean, I'm a level with you.
He's been.
We got to get him here for another major event. I'm gonna level with the fans here, a little bit of a scoop. There is talks. We've already had the discussions. Again, me doing my job, traveling the world. We are looking at the possibility, and the plan is to take care of it this year, to be broadcasting live from the Tragos Hall of Fame. That's on my plate for 2026 is to get the Wrestle Talk podcast live from Waterloo, Iowa, as a part of the Tragos Hall of Fame. We were up there in I think it was 23, 24. I have to go back and look, but we're going to make sure that the Wrestle Talk podcast gets that opportunity again in 2026. And I mean, right now I've already heard a couple of names that have been put out there that it relates to going in 2026. And as the show goes on, I'll make sure to give a shout out. I'm going to look those up here, make sure we've got it. I know that I believe there's been 2 names already announced. And when you hear both names that have been announced, it's really going to be that encouragement to go up and experience a great weekend of pro wrestling. And not only that, you get to see the best in the national, international talent and local all at the same time. But you know something, Night Owl? Speaking of local, speaking of national, speaking of international, we got to get rocking here, man, because there's so much stuff. We could be here until Christmas Day talking about pro wrestling. There's so much going on. And he's gone, Hardcore Hoss. What do you figure here?
But yeah, I totally agree with you. There is just so much to talk about, so much going on. And, you know, he talks about the fact that, you know, we haven't done shoot and shout, but, you know, when you put me and Gabe together, we're already taking a 2-hour show and stretching it to 2.5, 3 hours, you know, every single time. And, you know, if we hit everything, man, we would be on all night long. But, and this might be another one of those shows. And I mean, I see people lining up in the back, people lining up to get in here. And so.
You know, Cover Night Owl needs to let us do. And I'm going to tell you this right now, since we're all across the country. Remember back in the days, maybe a little bit before your time, Hoss. But remember the days of the WCW all-nighter? When they did 6 hours of the best of WCW and they had all the broadcasters, they had Tony Schiavone, they had Bobby Heenan, they had Chris Cruz, they had Gene Okerlund. I think Bischoff stopped in for a little bit as well, and they talked pro wrestling. Maybe that's what we need in 2026. And if you want to see that, put into the chat, hashtag WTP All-Nighter. We're going to be bouncing all around topics. Imagine what it would be like if we started a show at 11 o'clock at night and we went to like 3 or 4 a.m. and how slap happy we'd be, and how the Night Owl would be calm at that point. But again, something we definitely might want to look at. But you know something, Hardcore Hoss? What's the hashtag WTP all-nighter? He's been out and about here. He'll come back. You don't wonder what in the world we're talking about, but that's okay.
Yeah, and it sounds like a lot of fun to do, but we'll have to talk it over with our executive producer, and see what he thinks. And,
wait a minute, aren't we enough of the management team to make that happen?
I don't think we're that high. See, yeah.
Night Owl?
I step out for 1 second to tend to the lineup. Guys, we got some lineup today, and I step away for a second. Hoss immediately starts trash talking me. You're lucky I didn't hear what you said. I'd love for you to repeat it because I'm coming off the top rope on your big ass if I need to. Okay? That ring better be reinforced for the both of us. And you, Skywalker, yes, you have all the authority in the world as long as it's a great show. Do you think I give a rat's? I don't give a rat's. Just stop dumping my segments because y'all feel like it, okay? This show is a staple of Midwest wrestling. People love Roseanne. People love when I'm pissed off. They love when you're pissed off because then they get to let it out. It's a therapeutic session, y'all. Come on, man. I know
you know busy. Something.
I know. Wait a minute. I know you got great guests, but remember, the guests come on the show because of how great it is, not the other way around. So don't forget where we came from, boys. That's why we're highlighting all the local promotions. Are we just sitting here talking about $1 Million Man? Are we talking about our interview with Savio Vega every single night? No, because it's the core of what we do here is our roots, right? The roots are local independent promotions, the FWWC, Shoot and Shout, Roseanne, Carl Lewis. So it hurts my feelings a little bit when I feel like we're forgetting where we came from. Though I will say, taking nothing away from Hoss and everybody else, who's done a tremendous job in keeping the show going. There's just stuff that I'm like, what do you mean y'all don't do Shoot and Shout anymore? That's crazy, fam. Crazy.
Well, you know something, Night Owl? We're going to put it this way, and this is something we're going to throw at you, and we're going to see how many people put out there. Hashtag WTP all-nighter. No, we're serious. We start like 10, 11 o'clock, and we roll to like 3 or 4 a.m., see how many cups of coffee, get Sonny money, and see how many cups of coffee he's going to drink in the course of a 4 or 5 hour broadcast. That would be it'd be great, but it'd be hilarious too. And you know something, guys? I'm going to tell you, we need to get to some hot topics. We need to get to some great business.
That's a terrible idea.
But you know something right now? And I'm going to tell you this. Let's get that first question out there and get it taken care of because I got a surprise for you, Night Owl. Yeah, Luke Roberts pulling out some tricks out of the playbook tonight. So, Hardcore Hoss, if you would be so kind, we're talking 2025. Let's throw one of the hot topics up here on the board. We talk about the year-end review, whatever you're going to call it. We're talking about 2025 here in the Wrestle Talk podcast.
My assistant came and changed it. It's apparently a year-end review. So, yeah.
And just to pull the curtain back a little bit, I know we normally have overlays for each and every thing that we bring up. We can only have 100 overlays, and there are so many topics that we done brought up tonight that we have in here to discuss. I couldn't load them all. It came up and told me that there were too many to load. So we probably won't have overlays tonight, but we do have the questions here that have been submitted. We've got all of them. So
there is 3 of us, though. So every time we go through a couple of topics, delete those and see if we can add the other 3. Maybe.
That is true.
Now, hold on. Did I just hear you say 3 people were getting you through this show? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Young Lion with the Old Soul, your 3-time Warriors Heart champion here in the building. Wrestle Talk Podcast family, how's it hanging in?
Arsene, what in the world have you done to yourself, man? I mean, I know you're draped in gold, but couldn't you find a better pair of shades? I mean, I like the Night Owls, but
Skywalker, there are no better shades than this, okay? That's the way to look about it. You guys are reaching up to me because I set the bar.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Wait. What is this guy?
Luxury here.
First
We
of
gotta
all,
watch how you lean on it.
don't forget whose company you're champion for. And secondly, how you going to let the guy in the Costco shirt roast you, bro? What's wrong with you, man? Don't forget who the OG here is. Listen, Arsene, you're the best in the game today, but it's not FWWC time. This is Wrestle Talk time. So get your shit together because we're about to talk wrestling. Are you good with that?
I just do what I do, senor.
Okay, whatever. Let's roll with it. And by the way, I got Jimmy Harris, I got Ace in the background, and like 2 or 3 other people that already come on. So Arsene, you get too mouthy, you're out of here.
All right. Well, gentlemen, before our scene loses it, before the Night Owl explodes right there on the screen, let's go ahead and we'll bring up the first question here. And Haas, whichever question you want to bring up, I mean, there are so many different topics here. I know our scene is not going to be able to follow it. And boom, right off the bat, a great topic. Did you enjoy John Cena's retirement tour? I'm going to tell you right now, me personally, I would say that from about, I want to say July on, yes, we could have lived without heel John Cena. I just, to me, I think it really diluted what was there. I know for a fact that a lot of fans were kind of wondering what in the world happened. But I mean, again, to get him to the 17-time world champion that he is, you got to give the man props. And you know something? Speaking of giving props, I'm going to tell you right now, Night Owl, I told you I had a surprise for you, and you kind of let the cat out of the bag. As it's talked about in the old day of professional wrestling, a term you may not be familiar with, we are going to actually have what's called an Australian rules tag team approach here. And I'm going to get the tag. And yes, you see the tag. It's a legal tag. I'm going to go ahead and tag out for just a minute to my tag team partner for the next few minutes, a man who knows how to call it right down the middle, a man who knows a lot about Hall of Fames, and a man who definitely is going to keep the young lion with the old soul in play and keep him in check. So right now, I'm going to tag out here for just a few moments and tag out to my tag team partner. You know who I'm talking about, but I want to give him the space to talk John Cena.
Jimmy! Woo! Let's go! Now, you want to talk about an upgrade? We went from Skywalker to Jimmy freaking Harris. I already want to suggest that this be a permanent change. That's just the Night Owl speaking.
How y'all doing, guys? It's been a while since I got to see you guys and hang out.
Well, we're glad we can make the show, man. It's ever pulling out all the stops for our year-end recap here in the FWWC Wrestle Talk podcast.
You know, it's always been a great time, and I always appreciate you guys inviting me out. And I'm glad a couple of you could made it to the last Hall of Fame, so you got to see what we were talking about and how we do things big time. We don't play around. We do it right all the way around. And we brought people together that they thought would never, ever come together. And that was one of the biggest props we got, was to bring people together that wouldn't even talk to each other and share time. And we celebrate history of wrestling.
Well, there's no question about it. And we do want to get your thoughts on the John Cena topic, Jimmy. But I do want to say something. I got to give a huge shout out, and we'll have him on the show here in a few minutes. My guy Ace from Dune Outfitters, he is a magician. What he was able to do with putting together, and I believe Skywalker is going to be able to help us with this when he comes back, what he was able to do to put together one of the most beautiful championships that I've ever seen for the Independent St. Louis Hall of Fame. It was on site for the day of the event on short notice. And I'll tell you what, 100% American made. I just absolutely blown away. Not to mention that he also curated the new Warriors Heart Championship with Mr. Gabriel Arsene will be having over his shoulders in the very near future.
Yeah, that one I'm still waiting on in the mail.
It'll be there. Jeez Louise, you baby. You got a great one in the interim. Stop complaining. And not to mention the two absolutely gorgeous championships, the FWWC World Tag Team Championship, the FWWC Hardcore Championship, held by the longest ever hardcore champion of all time, the one and only Hardcore Hoss. That's right. So Jimmy,
hold on.
What?
You have to get it right, Night Owl.
I basically came up with it.
Yes, I am the longest reigning hardcore champion of all time, but I am also the longest reigning champion in FWWC history. No matter what title you look at, no one's held a championship as long as I have.
Okay. I stand corrected. I will add that to your long and annoying list of accolades. Jimmy, back to you. The championship belt that you were able to present, how was it received from our friends over at Doomed Outfitters? And then if you want to go ahead and transition, and before these bozos hurt themselves patting each other on the back here, into the John Cena question, sir, if you wouldn't mind doing us that favor.
It was extremely amazing. The belt was, oh, God, gorgeous. Everybody saw it, fell in love with it. We got all the wrestling groups on the belt as well, because we represent everybody in wrestling in the metro area. And they did such an amazing job with the belt. I can't thank them enough. Matter of fact, they're going to be working on one for me so I can have one for myself. But it's amazing. And to get to John Cena stuff, we grew up with Cena. We watched Cena come up. Well, I shouldn't say grew up. I watched him come up through the business, and I was kind of a little disappointed towards the end when I watched the final match, because you can kind of see it in his face when it closed up on him when he did the tap out. That you could tell he wasn't thrilled about it, and I don't know if he really truly wanted to end it that way. But he does have an amazing history. Wrestled a lot of superstars and talent, and I got to give him his props. I mean, he did stuff that most people couldn't do or wouldn't do. I think the ending for me could have been a lot better than what it was. And me, I look at things at a different outlook. Not only being, I did wrestle for a little while, but trained a lot of wrestlers. But being a referee in the ring, you see all the inside, outside, backstories and everything. But you can tell and see facial expressions and things and know how well was the show going. How was he doing? I think he was a little disappointed, I think, in the way it ended to me, the way he looked. But you know what? He went out hopefully the way he wanted to go out. And, thank him for all the years that he's done and keeping the storylines going and the hard work and dedication he puts into it. So I got to give him his props for that.
Well, before we go around the rest of the horn, and thank God you took off those glasses, Arsene. Seriously, bro. Seriously, the guys from the YMCA are thrilled that you're returning their merchandise. The Village people, not the YMCA.
What year was that again?
The Village people?
Young Lion, Old Soul.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea who that is, do you? Shame on you. Jeez Louise.
No, I just wanted to hear the year. Wanted to make you feel old.
He can't make me feel old, baby. You try to see that. Jimmy, follow-up question. Because I think Cody asked the best question when he interviewed John Cena immediately after the retirement. And I think this is a question that we should all ask ourselves, whether we're podcasters, referees, we're the guy that does the prayer before the show, the trainer, and on up to world champions. Did he leave the business better than how he found it, according to you, Jimmy? What do you think before we move on here?
I think it could have been. I mean, he left a great mark, and I think the business, he left it the best he could. But I think the business it's going to take a lot for the business to pick up where he left off at. Because I don't watch as much as I used to because they just don't interest me that much like they used to. Storylines are kind of lame, but I think John did leave it better than when he came in, and he showed respect to his people, and I think he did a very good job. And I would say, he left it a little bit better than what it was when he came in there, and hopefully they all can step up and match the passion he had. You know what I mean?
Well, absolutely. I think we all look up to John Cena in way, shape, or form. Like you, I think his impact was significant. Before him, though, was the Attitude Era. So I don't know if that's better. I mean, now is better than then. There's certainly more visibility, but is the product itself better? I don't know. We can probably kick that one around for a couple of hours because honestly, matches back then seemed like they mattered more than matches do now. I mean, you just look at this week's Monday Night Raw. I don't know if there was anything of significance there that we like. Did any storyline take a step forward after this past Monday that it hadn't taken the previous week? I don't know. But yeah, so Jimmy, my biggest thing, and I want to say this because it is the Christmas season, is thank you and the Hall of Fame for what you guys have done. You guys don't ask for much in return. You want to honor those who have sacrificed for this business. So before we move on with all of the rest of our topics, I do want to give you a minute to talk about the Hall, break any news that you might have for us if you have any available. And then also, why do you feel it's important to have established as the executive director and the owner a Hall of Fame that is specific to the St. Louis area? And I think it's really big because the guys that have worked in St. Louis aren't just from St. Louis. They're from throughout the world. They're from the Midwest. And so I just want to give you that stage before we move on to talk about why it's so important, why you felt like you needed to establish it, and then maybe some teasers you might have for us if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, we put my goal was when I started this was I watch other Hall of Fames and I watch how a lot of the things were going, and I wasn't too thrilled with how some of the things were going. And I wanted to do something spectacular or do something different and better. And I wanted to do something that, one of the things that used to get thrown at me all the time was, oh, it's just going to be a good old boys club. And you're just going to do MMWA, SICW, and that's it. And I'm like, no, the idea is that everybody that worked in the ring that I work with worked numerous promotions, worked numerous big time shows. We're talking like at that time, WCCW, NWA, AWA, Japan. So I got the honor to work with a lot of those guys. And one of the things that we always got to remember, and we always say to this day, is when you look at wrestling, you can't help but see that STL in that wrestling stands out because St. Louis was the biggest hub for wrestling in the world. And when you look at how did these guys in the big shows get their people, well, you had to go through the independent circuit to get those people. And we had to show that we had talent that was hidden that wanted to showcase and work with any of those big time guys that they were promoting. And we have done that. And so a lot of that was in-house fighting, bickering amongst the groups and stuff. So my goal was to promote that this is a brother and sisterhood, that we are all family. And we're here to honor those that trained us and gave us the legacy to carry forward. So I wanted to be able to carry that legacy forward. And we did, and I did that slowly but surely. And everything was out of pocket, and sometimes it still is right now until things really get rolling. But my goal was to honor those that came before me and help me get where I was at. And they were a huge part of the St. Louis area and the bi-state area. And like you said, Night Owl, they're not just in the St. Louis area. These people travel all over the place. They're in Tennessee, they're in Detroit, they're in California, Florida. Our people are traveling all over the place and working multiple groups and companies. And for me, it's to share the legacy of those that came before us. And we lost a lot of great legends in my book in the St. Louis wrestling area. And we're trying to showcase and say thank you for what you did for us and for keeping the independent St. Louis circuit alive, which it is very much alive. I mean, look at all the groups we got now. And wrestling is still a hot ticket in St. Louis, Missouri, and metropolitan area. So we took that step forward, and then I decided I can't do it by myself. And there was only like one or two of us making decisions. I said I need to put a board together. And then we managed to put together, I think now we have a very great board. I mean, we changed out a few folks because for personal reason, wherever and I thank them that were with us and are now, but they were a big part of what we did. And the group we got now is even more amazing because we can now track histories, legacies, and we can tell you when they started, what titles they held, where they worked at, who they worked with, because we've got our historians and stuff now. So it is considered a very legitimate Wrestling Hall of Fame now because of that. And we've been recognized by the state of Missouri and a couple other places. So it's coming together slowly but surely. And Skywalker's been a big part of that. And we got Big Ben Gennaro, who's a historian that stepped up and helped us go back and dig out legends way back in the 70s and days of kind of where we all came from. And so breaking news, man, I don't want to give away too much. And I think Luke might be going to slide you a couple of names. I don't want to get too far away, but one of the names that I had put in for, and hopefully we hear from them soon. I don't know if everybody remembers them, but the guy that used to train me is going to go into the Hall of Fame. I'll go ahead and give that one to you because it's mine, so I can do that. The Slick Rick Robertson, hail from Canada. He's actually the guy that trained me in the back of Broadway and slammed me into the ceiling in that back room where we actually first started training, where we had the gym to go train at. So, again, that goes to show you how old I'm getting, right? Because I started back in the 80s. So, and Rick was wrestling before me. So, yeah. I'm not going to give you too much because I want to take Luke's thunder away from him.
No, that's awesome, Jimmy. Well, we appreciate you sharing that. Obviously, curating and preserving the history of this beautiful sport is incredibly important for guys that are, kind of midway through their life who still love professional wrestling. Guys who are in their early 20s that are just now getting into the business, like our boy here, the Young Lion, and everybody in between. So we appreciate what you're doing. Thank you for breaking a little bit of news here, Jimmy. Thank you for contributing a little bit of feedback, right? Because you may be removed from the product, but you're one of the guys that saw Cena's career from start to finish. And before you go, we did have a comment. Somebody responded to your take, and I'll go ahead and read it out loud here and see if you have a reaction. It says, I agree with you, Jimmy, because not only John Cena shocked the wrestling world at Elimination Chamber, but he was a great guy to work with in WWE and will always be the last real champion in WWE. So obviously there's an affinity there, but those of us who have been there long enough recognize that his contribution, though great, maybe for us more seasoned fans, took a little bit of what we loved about wrestling and watered it down. Though the exchange is, it is now a more global sport than it ever has been. And all of us know years ago, we'd wake up in the morning on Monday and turn on ESPN and hoping you'd get a highlight from the pay-per-view, and they would never, ever, ever do that. And now you turn on SportsCenter Monday, and they're giving you a recap of what happened at Elimination Chamber, which is absolutely insane. I actually saw Gunther sit down for an interview with Stephen A. Smith, and that's something you would never have seen 15 or 20 years ago. So if we're going to tip our hat to the old number 17, never seen 17, I'll give it to him for that reason. So we appreciate it. You guys got anything for Jimmy before we get him out of here?
I'll give you one little bit more thing that I'm working on, one of my other projects I'm working on.
Drop it on us.
In the Hall of Fame right now, I have been collecting their notes and stuff for when they accepted their plaques. We put St. Louis Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame book together with all the people that have gone in with their legacies, their backgrounds, their histories, and so that way the youngsters understand what is the history of independent wrestling in the St. Louis area, and you can understand what these legends did for you guys up where we're at, and to carry that legacy and make it better for all of us.
I love that. So a real book, like a physical You can actually hold it and get it signed, not some stupid digital thing. A real book. I love to hear that. Can we give this man a round of applause, gentlemen? Keeping the spirit of pro wrestling alive. Jimmy Harris, tip our hat to you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the executive director, the owner of the St. Louis Pro Wrestling Independent Hall of Fame, the one and only big time 1, 2, 3, my friends, Jimmy Harris Sr. Thanks for your service too, Jimmy. We love you, bro. God bless. God bless.
Who's in the Hall of Fame, without saying what he used to call me. He used to call me Jimmy Big Time Harris. 1, 2, 5.
Yeah, I like that, Jimmy. I like that. You have a good night, brother.
Be safe out there.
Adios. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Harris. Was it? Come on, guys, say it with me. 1, 2, 5. That's awesome. Gentlemen, what do you think about that? Come on. I know we kind of confiscated the time there, gave Jimmy his flowers as we do. Hoss, what do you think, man? How was that?
Man, just absolutely stunned at the announcements. Always, the biggest news drops right here on WTP all the time. And, so just absolutely glad he could join us and drop some big news like that on us. And, just looking forwards to seeing who else they'll be adding throughout this year and what else is coming.
You always come to the Wrestle Talk podcast for the exclusives. Nobody has interviews or guests or first-time news information like we do. And it's thanks to having it's not just our fans, it's our family. And I think it's fair to say that Jimmy is part of our family. So
I love it. I think that's fantastic. Are you guys ready to bring Skywalker back in? What are we doing? I feel like we're a four-man quartet missing a guy. Like, where's our boy at? Skywalker,
do we have to
bring back your presence? No,
a dime.
We can just
Not a dime.
forget about him the rest of the
Not
show.
a dime.
Not a
Never drew a dime. Not a dime.
Hey,
Not a dime.
we got Ace waiting in the rings. We got the badass American Diva. Dewan Mills is in the background. He's ready to roll. Okay, that was an accident. Uh-oh.
Oh, let's get a good look at him on this.
Ooh, look at that thing. Doom.
Something, gentlemen?
Outfitters, baby. And Ace that runs the place. Ace, he will be joining us in a few minutes, by the way.
Hey, Arsene, you got your title on your shoulder, but when it comes down to it, look at the longevity of that man, the one half of the double-double. If I'm not mistaken, am I correct, Hardcore Hoss?
Well, as I said earlier, I've held this one now for 3 years almost. Of course, this one I just won, but we'll see how long it takes for somebody to take this one. So,
well, correct me if I'm wrong, though. Aren't you and your tag team partner both holding double gold?
Yes.
And this belt right here, again, Doomed Outfitters giving them a shout out here. And again, that's one of the things that makes the Wrestle Talk podcast so unique, is the idea that when it comes down to it, we always bring the biggest, the best to this program. And you know something, guys? I'm going to tell you. Soon enough, and again, I know some of it. I'm being on the board of directors. I've got some insight. Can't share it yet, but I'm going to tell you right now, when tickets become available, you want to be there. The legacy of the independent St. Louis professional wrestling scene and this year's Hall of Fame class is the class. I thought my class was great. But I'm going to tell you right now, I think this class has all the potential in the world to outshine my class going into the Hall of Fame. And again, when you get people like the Wrestle Talk podcast, when you get promotions like the MMWA, when you get promotions like the MVWA, you get promotions like the past Gateway Championship Wrestling. I know that a couple other promotions have already stepped in and want to be sponsors again this year of the program. Wrestle Talk podcast, proud sponsor and supporter of the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. I'm going to tell you right now, gentlemen, the class of 26 is going to bring it, as the Night Owl says, they're going to bring the fire. Once again, another great Hall of Fame class to be announced soon. And again, where are you going to get all your great info? Wrestle Talk podcast, all forms of social media. We all got gold. I don't know where the Night Owl went. Maybe he's upset because he doesn't have a championship belt to hold over his shoulder right now. But you know something, guys? Let's talk 2025. And you know something, guys? I want to go ahead and I do want to throw up a question up here. And Hoss, if you want to bring it up, my question is going to shift from the individual to the promotional. And to me, I think one of the biggest changes in the history of professional wrestling has to do with the working agreement and procurement, acquiring, if you will, of the AAA promotion in Mexico between the WWE and AAA. And to give you an idea, they broke it at WrestleMania. And I'm going to tell you right now, guys, for those that don't know, the Wrestle Talk podcast staff, we're constantly in communication with one another. We know what's up. We try to keep on top of things. We're wrestling fans. We're purists. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you haven't had a chance to catch the last When Worlds Collide, and you can bring that question up, Hardcore. If you haven't caught that last matchup, the one I brought up was Laredo Kid, Jack Cartwheel from WWE Evolve, and the bouncy one himself, Javon Evans. That match was off the hook. And I'm going to tell you right now, everybody talks about Canadian destroyers, top rope destroyers. I about lost my mind when I saw a DDT destroyer. And I saw it, and I know Arsene, I know you got that belt. I know you got to wear the shades because your future's so bright, but you got to tell it right now that when it comes down to it, watching that matchup, I can't even begin to put words to it because it was amazing. And a shout out to David joining us here. It's always ironic that David shows up when Luke Roberts was on the program, but you know, that's okay. We're talking AAA, and I'm going to tell you right now, that match to me stole the show. Arsene, your thoughts?
I just want to follow this up only to ask, just because, do you think it's your potential for the best match of the year since we're closing out?
That's a good question. I don't think it falls in the best of the year category, but it kept you on your seat the whole time. I'm going to go back right now and I'm going to tell you this one. Who wins in the AAA WWE deal? I'm going to say it right now. To me, everybody wins. The WWE wins because you're getting to see talent like Mr. Iguana. You're getting to see talent like Penta. You're getting to see, thank you again, David. You get to see talent like Ray Phoenix. You get to see a lot of the luchadoras. You get a lot of that. You got the double champ, Dirty Dom. And again, want to give a shout out. And a lot of people don't like it, but we want to give a shout out to Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Heard rumors he may be on the shelf for a while. They're suspecting he very well may have a very similar injury to what Seth Rollins and Penta had. He was supposed to, I believe, from what I was reading on the media today, it was, I believe they're thinking right now, possibility of a separated shoulder. Again, still very early in things. I want to give a shout out to him. But again, you're getting to see the main event matchup was El Grande Americano and Dominic Mysterio, Los Gringos Locos 2.0. taking on Rey Fenix and Rey Mysterio. And I'm going to tell you right now, from top to bottom, I thought it was a great matchup. I mean, you can go back, look at the women's match, the Carnival of Carnage, which you haven't had a chance to watch it. You got to watch that one. I don't know if you're scratching your head going, what in the world did I just watch? And it was a great matchup, too. I mean, not even going to fib. From top to bottom, a great event. But the fans have always been on top of it. They've enjoyed from top to bottom. And I'm just going to say it simply put, gentlemen. To me, I think everybody wins. And I know you two have differing opinions on this. Hardcore Hoss, I'm going to go to you. Your thoughts. AAA, WWE. Does everybody win? Does somebody win? What's your thoughts?
You know, in all honesty, I do believe that, you know, on one side of things, everybody wins because, you know, it exposes those who weren't already exposed to AAA. It exposes them to more wrestling. And, you know, when you're getting exposed to more wrestling, how can you lose? So, you know, from that aspect, I would say everybody wins. But overall, you know, honestly, I would have to say, I think, you know, AAA really wins in this because of the fact that they are getting so much more exposure. I mean, the whole world knows WWE. The whole world knows who WWE is. But there are a lot of people who didn't know who AAA was before this merger took place. So, you know, with this, it's brought a lot of new eyes to AAA that otherwise just wouldn't be there. So I would have to say that I believe AAA just really comes out with a big win on this one. And but like I say, overall, when it comes to the fans, I believe everybody wins because of the fact that it's just more wrestling out there, more content, and just more great stuff to watch. You know, I know Gabe is gonna disagree with me, I'm sure, because Gabe thinks anybody who doesn't know AAA and all these other ones are just idiots. So,
hey, I don't just know it. It's a fact of life, okay? We live in 2025 and every kind of wrestling is available and people choose to remain ignorant, okay? So let it be known that as much as I would agree with you, Haas, WWE is getting the better end of this deal. Not to disregard any of the talent that is present in AAA. They are absolutely crushing it given what they're doing. They have the platform now. That's the thing, is that a lot of these people get to be household names or at least be interesting enough to new people. Psycho Clown, Mr. Iguana, I believe it was Cheeseburger Boy, and plenty more to name. But when you talk about actual star power and talent working with what's given to them, WWE has splashed it out of the water. All right. Los Grandes Americanos. All right. We have 3 completely different wrestlers from a European style of wrestling that are now hella over when it comes to putting merch now. We have Ethan Page and, oh gosh, I'm going to kill myself if I can't remember. Our North American champion, or our Women's United States champion, and the intergender champions. And like you mentioned, Dirty Dominic Mysterio. I'm sorry, but it's like, if you could go back in time about 5 years and tell us that, hey, Dirty Dom is also going to be Intercontinental Champion and AAA Mega Champion at the same time, you would have been called a liar and you would have been asked, what were you smoking and can you have some? So I just want to say that I don't disagree with you because it's incorrect. I disagree with you because I personally find it incorrect.
Well, you know something, Arsene? First of all, I got to give you some shout outs. Number one, you actually showed your knowledge about something that wasn't MLW or New Japan Pro Wrestling. Number one, I'll give you props for that. Number two, you actually managed to keep your eyes off your title for more than 2 minutes. Again, proud of you for that. And number three, I don't know how serious I can take you with an Animal Crossing poster in the background, but I'm going to move on. I digress. Moving right along. Now, Here is my question. Look at what's here.
He got you, bro.
I want to throw this one at you here, gentlemen. And again, this is going to kind of piggyback off the original question, and it's going to take one away from the pool, but that's okay. Barring this injury, is 2026 going to be the year of Dominic Mysterio? Night Owl, do you think it's his year?
Let me take a step back. I want to hit this AAA WWE thing. I think the consensus is that it's good for both. The question was, though, who won? The previous owner of AAA is now far wealthier than they were before the deal. They won for that reason and that reason alone, because at the end of the day, this is business. We cannot forget that as much as we put our emotion into it. Secondly, they're preserving and honoring the tradition of AAA. It's not like they went in there and ripped out all the banners and took away all the tradition and the legacy. As a matter of fact, they're building upon it, which I think is great. So clearly AAA won this, in my opinion. The one thing I need to know, and maybe it's not something that you guys can answer, is now that they have this incredible influx of Latin American, particularly Mexican talent, why are we still wasting our time with Rayo, El Grande Americano, and these cheesy, gimmicky nonsense stories when you have legitimate badassery? You have Dragon Lee. You've got Penta. You've got the best wrestler in the world. And I will hear, you can argue if you wish, but to me, bell ring to bell ring, nobody can do as much as Rey Fenix. And you can say he's injured and he's not available, but when he is available and you give him enough mic time, I personally think he's better than Penta. Matter of fact, I think he's better than basically everybody on any roster that he's ever been in. You want to say opportunities, you want to argue about whether or not he's the guy because you can't understand what he says because he speaks more Spanish. Fine. Whoever's in the back pushing the buttons, you do not have the balls to jump on here and debate me on this. Because there are guys that we all know, given the right opportunity, would be at the very top of the card. Now, maybe he's been given the opportunity, he got injured and didn't get there. My point is, and let's not get away from the point I'm actually trying to make here, is if you have this influx of incredible talent, why do you continue to give TV time to this bullshit? You have great talent, serious competitors with lineage and history and respect and real genuine talent, top tier talent. But the only luchadors you put on the screen or a guy that defames, and I know it's a character thing with Dom, but he's constantly taking the mask on, putting it on, taking it off, playing up the Latin thing, but not really paying homage to the luchas. And then you've got El Grande Americano, which I mentioned before. So that's the part of it I don't understand. They could be doing something way cooler with it, but they treat it like they treat R-Truth. They treat it like they treat The Miz. They treat it, and this is why I get so heartbroken. I'm supposed to take Theory seriously now after all the nonsense he was doing right before he got hurt. All of a sudden, very much. Thank you. Finally, the drop guy is doing a decent job, okay? It doesn't make sense. Does anybody remember what Theory was doing? He was arguing about nonsense with the Australian guy before he got injured. The Australian guy that's now the white token guy on the New Day. But now he goes buzz cut, and I'm supposed to take Waller. Yes, thank you. Wasn't even worth remaining. He's a talented guy. You get what I'm saying. I'm going to stop here, but my point is, AAA won, but it's a damn shame that the only luchas we get with 22 hours of weekly programming is Rayo, El Americano, and Dom Mysterio, that clearly is a great talent as a character and on the microphone, but his wrestling It is what it is. Back to
Well,
you.
Night Out, I'm going to jump in here, and I'm going to agree with you about 98%. And the reason why, and I'm going to say this, there are a lot of great luchadors that have come on the program. Actually, I want to go ahead here if we can. Can we get the Night Owl on the screen here for a minute? Because I want to have a conversation here. I just don't want to be on the screen by myself here. Now, Night Owl, you have been a follower for as long as I've known you about professional wrestling all across the globe. And I'm going to tell you right now, when we look at it, to me, as far as being a contemporary, I think I would disagree with you slightly and say until the day comes when Rey Mysterio officially retires from the industry, I still feel that even though he's been getting hurt, I still say Rey Mysterio is slightly above Rey Fénix. But my question to you is this.
Okay, come on, bro. What does Rey Mysterio do better than Rey Fénix in the ring? Name
I look at it from the perspective. No. Hear me out, Night Owl. I'm not picking a fight on this.
Stop it.
Would you agree with me, though, that even though you have the likes of a Rey Mysterio that's still on your roster, one of the things that you always have from professional wrestling is you learn from the previous generation. And the idea of being able at the last Worlds Collide event to have Rey Mysterio, who many consider to be, when it comes to Lucha Libre, the present day GOAT, and the man who simply put, I would agree with you, could very well take the mantle sooner rather than later of the best luchador currently out there in the industry. I can agree with you on that. To me, I look at it from the perspective of, do you think right now that wrestlers like Penta, like Rey Fénix, like a Dragon Lee, among others, should be taking the opportunity and learning from the past generation to even launch them further in their careers?
Listen, bro, I'm going to be honest with you. I love Rey Mysterio. I got a chance to meet him at the Hall of Fame at Cauliflower Alley Club. Absolutely amazing organization. Shout out to her, B. Byron Blair, everybody over there. We love y'all, man. Y'all are so great to us all the time. But, bro, listen, we've reached a point, and I would love Gabe's perspective on this because he understands this new era better than either one of us, okay? There's a level of unseriousness to Rey Mysterio that he's had for a long time that I don't like. Like, they put him in this stuff that feels a little Mickey Mouse-ish. He feels he feels very PG to me, okay? And so today, which I hear your argument, legacy, nostalgia, I'm with all that, bro. We're from the same era. But today, that shit just doesn't get over. It's not raw enough. And when you're talking about a guy like Rey Fénix, listen, I have the evidence to back up what I'm saying. Just go back and watch Rey Fénix and Lucha Underground. And that's where my argument is coming from. Why do they buy a company like AAA, but on their primary programming where you could really get guys over, that's what they push. Rayo, they don't even, by the way, Rayo is not an original name. It means lightning. And there was a wrestler back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s named El Rayo de Sinaloa, black mass, lightning bolt going halfway through the mass. Look it up if you don't believe me. They didn't even pay homage to him. This new Rayo took the name. The get-up doesn't look anything like it. They didn't pay any homage to it. And it's like a 4-second segment that doesn't mean anything. So, again, the question was, who won? AAA won. They're rich as shit. Their product is being honored, and the legacy continues. They didn't erase anything. They didn't kill it, make it go away like they did with WCW. I'm happy with that. But am I happy about how particularly Lucha Libre is being represented under the WWE banner? No, it feels like Rey Mysterio. It feels watered down. It feels PG. It feels like, hey, how do we sell merch with this thing? It doesn't feel like they want to cut Penta and Rey Fénix loose on the tag team division and have them do some badass shit. They want to keep them confined to like, oh, these are the cool lucha guys that do the awesome flips. Listen, I like when you compare it, what Hijo del Vikingo did with AEW versus what he did with WWE, the stuff he did at AEW was way cooler. Like way cooler. And the stuff he's done since they've merged with WWE, is it even noteworthy? Thank you. Is it even noteworthy, bro? I don't know. And we can move on from this topic. I don't want to belabor here, right? But it bothers me to no end that you would buy a company like this, and out of your 20 plus hours of programming weekly, we get Dom, who's fantastic, but not a true luchador, and we get, I hate even saying it, El Americano. It's dumb. And now they gave El Americano a faction, bro. That's how unserious it is. It's not even Chad Gable anymore. It's like some other, we all know who it is, right? It's Kaiser. My point is, it's so unserious that, yes, the AAA ownership won, but did the fan base win? Maybe. I'll go back to my comment about John Cena. There's more visibility. They're talking about it on ESPN. It's definitely more global, but is it a better product today? Hell no. Hell no, it's not. Sorry. We got to get Ace in here. We got to get Badass American Diva in here. We got to get Arsene back in here and John. I'm just saying, bro, this shit's annoying to me, especially because of my heritage. It pisses me off.
Well, Night Owl, I'm going to throw it to you this way. There's a lot of wrestlers on the AAA roster that deserve that opportunity. And I'm going to tell you right now, and again, I got to say this right now. Out of all the things going on, again, the match with Laredo Kid and Javon Evans and Jack Cartwheel was just off the charts to me.
It was. Spot fest, but it was good. It was a spot fest.
Yeah. But my thinking is I got to say it. Originality, I love
They did good.
Mr. Iguana. Sorry, it's just my thing.
It's good.
He just has this unique. The one thing I gotta say though, I mean, granted, you don't expect to have a puppet iguana, but every time he winds up with that thing on his shoulder, that's like Mr. Perfect throwing the towel, man. He's perfect every time. And again, if anybody in the Wrestle Talk podcast family would like, that's what Luke Roberts would like for Christmas is a Mr. Iguana t-shirt. You can go on www.shop.com and go from there. But speaking of which, I'm gonna make that segue real quick, guys. You see this right here? The Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame Championship belt. This belt stands for the history of the independent scene of professional wrestling. And a man who's really stepped up his game in the FWWC, stepped up his game with FWWC tonight, who steps up with Doom Outfitters, steps up with the Wrestle Talk podcast. A man who deserves this year-end show, that deserves his opportunity to have a moment in the sun again. Bagging it out. The Ace.
Sorry to cut
What's up, Ace?
We kept you waiting on things long enough, man. I know you're foaming at the mouth to chomp at the bit here before you gotta go.
Yeah, and we do have to get Gabe's thought on this because I think he was raring to go, but we do want to respect Ace's time. He's been waiting for a long, long time. So, Gabe, you're up next no matter what. No matter what. Go ahead, Ace.
Oh no, man, just glad to be here. I'm glad y'all dragged that out because the more y'all dragged it out, the less time we got to see Hall sitting there with them two belts. Guys, we have failed. We failed in the FWWC letting that man get a hold of one belt, much less two. We can't even take the first one off his ass. Now y'all gonna give him another one? Come on now, y'all.
3 years is crazy. 3 years is crazy.
Like somebody said, that belt is on the way. Trust me, it's beautiful, but there's a reason why it's taking so long. That'll come out later. You got a target on you. You got a target. Trust me, it's coming.
Woo! All right, so let's buzz. Ace, let's buzz through this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 more orders ready for you. I got Jimmy Harris who wants his own belt, and then I had a young lady who reached out to the Wrestle Talk podcast social media account saying that she would like a custom belt created also. So I will pass along the contact info here between sometime over the next day or so. Make sure you reach back out to me. But, bro, talk to us just very briefly before we get into the wrestling stuff and hit the next topic about Doomed Outfitters, how it is that you're going about manufacturing these championships, And what's your tie-in? Because I know it's been a little while since we had you on the show. I know you're doing your thing as far as the FWFC tonight. And I know you were here a couple of weeks ago when Joey and, that whole mess. But in case people haven't heard it, go ahead, Gabe. Sorry.
Well, no, I just wanted to add, just because I wanted to ask on behalf of Skywalker, and can you make a Mr. Iguana puppet?
Ooh, that'd be kind of neat. Yeah. I'd have to try that.
But I don't know the legality in making it third party. I don't know if you can get in trouble if you call it something else that's not Mr. Iguana. I'm just saying.
I could do the T-shirts. We do T-shirts, and that's something. I'm glad you brought that up. We do T-shirts. We do the belts, obviously, that you've seen. We did the Hall of Fame deal. If you think of it, I don't care if you draw it out as whatever you have in mind, put it on something, let me know, and give me just an idea what you want. And it can be completely custom. And that's why we promote completely custom. We could do replicas, that's fine, but we want to do something completely original with Doomed Outfitters. That's why we started doing it. So if you can think of it, I can draw it, put it in the computer. That computer makes it perfect. Once the computer actually puts it into the machine cuts it the way we need it, shapes it, and we can have two different ways of doing it. If you've ever heard of like a pour, where it melts the metal, pours it, makes the mold and all that stuff, we do both. Belts are great. We do everything with the straps. There's three of us really working on it. And of course, once the order comes to me, I hit my guy up, that stays up there in Helen. And it started up in Helen. There was three of us there that worked on it, all right there in one little spot. Everybody's obviously spread out. That makes it just a little more difficult, but still we're getting it done pretty good. I'll send everything up to him. He puts it in the computer, cuts it. We ship it down to my guy in Florida who puts all the straps on it, puts everything together. It comes to me for all the inspections, and then it goes out to the customers. So, yeah, just if you got any ideas with it, T-shirts,
very impressive.
So just hit us up. We do have a Facebook page. It's Doomed Outfitters. We hadn't updated it in a while. We've been kind of slacking on that. But, yeah, just check us out on Facebook. Hit us up on Doomed Outfitters. You can message me personally on there, and we'll respond back as quick as possible. Or you can get with the Night Owl, get with any of our guys from the Wrestle Talk podcast, and every one of them. And these are guys that help sponsor us too, so they have a huge part in this for putting it out there. And we wouldn't be like we are as far as getting the word out without these guys here. So,
well, we love to hear that, bro. And listen, everybody that we've sent your way has been absolutely thrilled. So keep up the good work. And just to reiterate this point, everything Doomed Outfitters makes 100% American made, baby. Yeah, if that matters to you.
Made. That's right. America.
Love to hear that. Skywalker, you ready for the next topic before Haas runs back in here and starts wrecking shop?
Hey, let's go ahead and knock out another topic. We've already talked AAA. We've talked WWE.
We do got to get our scenes take, though, real fast.
Well, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Luke. I was just saying, in Ace, are you going to be able to stay for at least one more question?
I'll do one more question, but I got to leave here in just a second. But
I got you. Then I'll try to make
so let's get your take on the – go ahead, Greg. You got it, baby.
You mean on the depiction, or at least the stylization between WWE versus AAA?
Yeah, because I think you had some thoughts based on my rant. I think you'd already kind of talked about who you thought won, but I saw your facial expressions as I was going off, and I was like, this kid's got something he wants to add. And anytime you get that passionate, bro, you usually have something great you're going to interject. So go ahead.
Well, it's mostly just because it comes from a place of actual passion with wrestling, and I find that's way harder and harder to find in this landscape, because more now that wrestling is readily available, people are hate watching wrestling. And it's the worst kind of fandom thing you can do, because it just ruins the product for everybody. But also, to me, I'm a very big, I love serious and not serious. When something is presented as serious, it's great, but not serious. And that just applies as well for when it comes to culturally. It's like, I love when we get our standard, I bleed red, white, and blue American wrestlers, and then we get the redneck. And then it's like, we get Japanese strong style, the 4 pillars of heaven, and then we get Bodyguard, or I dare not even quote it right now, but Al Snow. I think you all know what I'm talking about, sort of chopping motion. And it goes just as double for pro wrestling, which is the fact that when it comes to Mexican wrestling, you get you know, luchadores. You get the very essence of pro wrestling, the mask, la máscara. You know, that is what that's meant to mean. And then you have the luchadors, which is not a bad connotation, but it creates this bad image. It creates a dilution. It's this thing where it's a Xerox of a Xerox of a Xerox. It's not, you know, Mexican culturally expanding people who understand the things that built the foundations of Mexican wrestlers. It's somebody who went, oh, this guy's got a mask. We can sell merch out of that. Print money, but we're not going to give him a main event push, even though he sells shit. And it's baffling. And it's the reason I like places like MLW, because when they have a wrestler, when they have a luchador like Místico, he shows up and they treat it like it's God sent. Like this dude is the actual Messiah walking in of Lucha Libre. So when you show in, that whole crowd is chanting Místico. Even if you don't know this guy, you're like, well, shit, they're treating him like a big deal. What's his deal? It's the same way that we had Shinsuke Nakamura when he was on NXT versus the main roster. And I don't know what the disconnect is. I don't know how you have people like Rey Fenix, like Pentagon, like Dragon Lee. I completely forgot he was on the roster. And you're letting it slip through your fingers. Injuries are one thing. That's fine. But pushing these dudes when you have them available, especially when you have the Lucha Bros in a tag scene that is sitting there. We haven't seen the Street Profits in forever. The fucking Lucha Bros were right there, dude. They were right there. I get so heated about this because Lucha Libre is so much more than just wearing a mask. It's about what that mask is and what it represents and the matriarchy and the history that goes into that shit. That there is importance with wrestlers, especially when it comes to Hijo de los Santos or Hijo de la Vikingo. These are the sons of the men you remember. They're not just some schmuck who fucking laced up a helmet on. They're actual people. This runs in their vein. This shit is real for us. And to see it just become a tertiary afterthought is quite frankly insulting.
Simply put, ladies and gentlemen, Wrestle Talk Podcast's own version, the updated version of Mike Tenay, the one, the only, the young lion with the old soul, Gabriel Arsene, being able to go through with all the details, all the history. Props out to him. Again, now he's blowing kisses. We got to get to a new question because I don't know how much more before.
I want to add this because we got one more question before Ace leaves. Just real fast. He said he didn't even remember Dragon Lee's on the roster. The dude is literally one half of the tag team champions. And he did that. I was like, bro, that is insane. That just goes to show you, Skywalker. I know you respectfully agreed to disagree, but I'm telling you, bro, the people that really love Lucha are not impressed with what they've done. And I think AAA will be better in the long run, in the longevity. But I think the quality of the content, that's what I'm worried about, bro.
That's got to pick up, just like we got to pick up the pace here because Ace has got some things to do before he's gonna throw up at the love fest there of Gabriel Arsene. So let's go ahead and pop that next question up here.
Yeah, Gabe, did you have one last comment real fast? Sorry.
Just wanted to add what you were saying is that this is your homework, guys. Watch Lucha Underground. Just watch it. It's Mortal Kombat if it was pro wrestling. It's the hypest shit you've ever seen.
Yeah, by the way, and no replays, and you'll be thanking me later. I'm just letting you know, no replays.
All right. Now we got that all done. Throw up the question. Is AEW broadcasting more shows on TNT, TBS, TNT an accomplishment in 2025?
Hold on, let me just ask this question. Ace, do you even follow the AEW product at all? Just honest question.
I do to an extent. Honestly, I heard
because we can pull up another question, bro. If that question is not in your wheelhouse, we don't want you to force it, bro. We got a bunch of other ones.
Yeah, like we'll throw something because I mean I'm hit and miss with AEW. I gotta love
Skywalker. Can we go something else? We'll go back to that.
Well, let's. We got plenty in the tank here. Let's see here if we can get this next one up here. Bear with me just a second here. Gonna try to get this all squared away here on the computer. All right, Haas, can you throw the other one up there?
Ooh. Actually, from a business standpoint, I know a lot of people, they hate the issue, right? They say it sucks, but you got to think of it from a money standpoint. They're making bank off of this. And ultimately, you are running a business. What is best for business? You are putting this all over the world, and and a lot of people here, they're bashing Triple H about his business moves. They're bashing it about his booking. Okay, until you run a multi-billion-dollar company and you have all this stuff in your hands, just shut up. I believe internet fans are the worst when it comes to that. And my thing is, this is a business move that has put them on the map even bigger, if possible, than what they've ever been. So, I mean, go for it, dude. I don't care. Have it in Japan. Have it down in Jamaica. I don't care where you have it, but just put it worldwide. Open up the, you know what I'm saying? Open up that broadcasting to where people all over the world can really see this. And from a business standpoint, that was a very smart move.
Well, and I just want to take a moment to acknowledge this, but for those of you who think blaming Triple H is going to fix anything, it is not. He is the COO or the CCO. That's Chief Content Officer. He's in charge of the programming, not where they book the fucking show. Like, I want to stress that with people. If you can't tell that he's just as pissed off about the decision in that interview or in that press conference, you're stupid. Like, he's very much not happy about it. Him and a bunch of the other roster members were like, we're not doing Wembley first. Okay. ? Like, how many other places? Canada? Like, well, I mean, they've done WrestleMania in Canada, but still, it stands to reason that I'm like, there were a lot of other options here, and that was not their first. But also,
you got to take the good with the bad, though. Like,
exactly.
We're getting 2 WrestleManias back to back in Vegas, which is easy for everybody to access. I mean, at some point, if you wanted to go global, you gotta throw all your cards out on the table. And I think that's what they're doing, taking a WrestleMania over there. Plus, it's a guaranteed sellout. I mean, the Prince over there will literally buy the entire stadium and make sure that they can, quote unquote, call it the biggest sellout, the biggest international sellout in history. And you know how they are about touting that sort of stuff. That's exactly the kind of stuff that WWE loves to publish. Their biggest house ever. Yeah, dude. And by the way, the fans make the show better. I don't think anybody can argue that. The international fans are going to make the show more entertaining because the international fans outside of Boston, New Jersey, Chicago, and New York are better overseas. I hate to say it, but it's like way cooler.
You don't have to hate
when you're in Europe.
Australia,
first of all,
they fucking blew the roof off the place.
Yeah, Australia's another great one.
Well, first of all, and I got to give a shout out to Ace. Thank you. Because you and I are hitting on the same level here. When it comes down to it, when all these mergers in the corporate world happens, until you've actually booked an event and you've had to be one responsible for putting backsides in the seats, then don't go there. But you know something, guys? I want to throw something different. And I'm not going to knock it because of the fact that it's going to be a huge crowd. It's going to be a sellout and things are almost like, but since this whole thing's gone down, and I just want your input, has the WWE almost priced themselves out? Because I've been looking online, I've been looking at some things, and the ticket prices for these marquee events, which, I mean, they should be. I mean, WrestleMania is the Super Bowl of wrestling. But you're getting to a point now of where to get a ticket for one night and you're dropping 4 figures for one seat. There's a lot of average, hardworking, blue-collar fans that don't have that kind of money. And that just, to me, I mean, again, is it going to change? Probably not, because it's a business. And I understand that. But there's a lot of people who aren't going to be able, I mean, you might be lucky to get upper mezzanine, but same token, too, they're not going to be able to afford to take a family of 4. It might be 1 to be able to go to the, as they say, the showcase of Immortals versus 4. I mean, to me, I agree with what you said, Night Owl. Why doesn't Wembley get it first? Why doesn't the O2 get it first? They've had consistently not only
I think Arsene brought
but they've still had, I mean, again, like with the O2, they're putting 80, 81, 82,000 people in there. And that's not even WWE product. That's AEW product.
Are you asking that legitimately, or is there a rhetorical question? Because I think we all know why they went with Saudi Arabia.
Well, I know the money was there, but again, it's
they will literally buy every empty seat, bro. And they'll pull that money from underneath the Prince's Bugatti. Okay? Well, one of his 12 Bugattis. That's where he'll get the money from. It's not even a thing for them. They own the arena. They own the concessions. I mean, it is a monarchy, bro. That's what it is over there. I mean, I hate to say it, like people hate that or whatever. That guy owns that seat. You understand what I mean? The money is guaranteed. We all thought, hey, if something crazy happens, maybe they'll stop going over there. They literally had half the roster sequestered at the airport for like 12 hours. Remember? Does everybody remember that? Where everybody over there? Did that stop them? No, bro. They started booking 2 shows a year. They started booking 2 shows a year after that. Come on. They came up with a stupid championship that who knows? Braun Strowman won. I mean, it's absurd. And why is that? To Ace's point, dollar signs. It's always dollar signs. That's why Saudi Arabia was first.
Oh, well, yeah. When somebody comes up with that checkbook and says, bam, we're going to pay you this X amount of money, and it's guaranteed, you're going to go for it. I don't care who you are, what kind of business you run, especially when you're in a position. Look at the backlash they hit and the money, not only from like different deals they made with these networks, but say the whole Vince McMahon situation. They were losing a lot of money off of that. They were losing viewership. Now, all of a sudden, bam, they're worldwide. They're like, hey, you know what? Screw, and not saying screw America, but if we're not going to be able to make this over here and people can't pay the ticket prices, like he brought up about the ticket prices, if you're not able to bring it over here, go somewhere else. This is guaranteed you're going to get the money off these ticket prices. Why wouldn't you do it? You know, so business ultimately just it comes down to business, period. It's all a business move, and they're going to do what's going to keep their company going, pushing forward. And honestly, whether that's staying over here or moving over there, the world, the world loves wrestling. So even if America just says, you know what, we're not going to buy into your product no more. Okay, yeah, I mean, come on, there's more countries, and they're actually opening their doors to WWE right this minute, way more than what our own people.
America doesn't need to because Germany will do it. Like, there's just you can just name like 5 countries and everybody watches wrestling there.
There's a backup. Like, I mean, if America just decided, hey, we're not going to back up WWE anymore, bam, who cares? Like, to them, from a business standpoint, okay, boom, we're going to move it overseas. Hey, we're getting bank. They're still going to make money.
First W is World Wrestling Entertainment. Yeah. Just like to mention that.
Well, and by the way, there's no better time for them to be expanding. Let's be sincere here. Political influence plays a big part in taking a company global. And the fact that Vinnie Mac and Paul Levesque and Stephanie are all pretty cozy with the current administration does not hurt the cause. Because if they want to sit down with the Crown Prince or they want to sit down with whomever, all they got to call is El Trumpito, and it's just one phone call away because they're all homies. Like, everybody knows that. But a lot of people don't know this, and I think maybe it should be common knowledge. Part of the reason that CM Punk wouldn't come back is because of that friendship. Mm-hmm. And if you heard, John Cena on the Cody Rhodes podcast, which I referenced earlier, he was talking about his favorite moment in wrestling. He was talking about when CM Punk came back, the pre-show in Saudi or whatever. I'm sure you guys heard this. Well, if you read between the lines, it was like there were a lot of, I don't want to say political differences, but it was like lifestyle differences and philosophy differences. And I think I'm going to just kind of make an assumption here. I think that has a lot to do with it because people know where CM Punk stands kind of on the political spectrum, and everybody kind of knows like Linda McMahon literally works for the administration. Like, she's literally works for the administration. So I think that was a big bridge to be gapped, or a gap to be bridged, and it happened. And so now that it's happened, of course they're going to take advantage and use those connections to do Saudi and to do Australia and to do everywhere, because now they've got the backing from, that guy that can get anybody on the phone, like anybody on the phone. So personally, I don't care because I don't go to WrestleMania, but I know the show itself will probably be better. And here's something I was going to say when you were talking, Gabe. Like, the American fan is so jaded and fickle. If you do one bad thing, they stop watching, they get grumpy. The international fan, they just love it for the entertainment value. They don't care who wins, who loses. They cheer, they boo, no matter what. That's why the audiences are better, in my opinion. So they're going to go get that chicken overseas. Why? Because it's just easier. Other than the travel, the money's guaranteed. The fans aren't as fickle. The shows present better because of how loud the fans are. And more or less over there, they're treated like royalty. You know what I mean? Like, who wants to be dwelling in some shitty Hilton hotel in, South Jersey versus when they go to Saudi Arabia, I'm guessing every single superstar is either high class accommodations or like the very highest class accommodations. I'm sure it's a completely different system for them when they go over there. Everything has got to be like, because here the WWE wrestlers have to fend for themselves. They have to get from show to themselves. They have to feed themselves. I'm sure when they go overseas, all that stuff is taken care of. Because imagine you, me, or anybody on this podcast trying to catch a cab in Saudi Arabia. That would be insane. That WWE takes care of that for them over there, unlike here.
But before I dip out, I got to run. But now, going off of what you said about just the expansion, even from a political standpoint, next year, 2026, I can almost predict we're going to have a big event over in Russia. That was actually, honestly, is not too far of a stretch to think that WWE can be expanding that way. So who knows? Next year, big event in Russia. That would be kind of awesome too, though. Couldn't you imagine the fan base over there?
That would actually be pretty sick. I want that to be an outside show. I want the snow to run in.
We would literally get to see Rocky.
Though, they already have the heated ring. I think it was Mania 29.
Yeah,
they have the heated ring from New York, New Jersey. So I mean, that could be taken care of. I mean, again, it's one of those when it comes down to it. The wrestling could be, as the name says, World Wrestling Entertainment. Yeah. Only time will tell. Who knows? Maybe one day too. I mean, again, if we've got this going on, you look at places like Germany or England. Maybe somewhere down the road with all the reactions as late, maybe we see something like a WrestleMania, like Wrestle Kingdom. Yeah. So I mean, again, another food for thought there. But like I said, Ace. Before we let you go here real quick,
are we gonna get Haas's thoughts on this before we let Gabe? I know you got to go, Ace, but I definitely want to hear what Haas got to say too.
Well, before Ace gets out of here,
yeah,
I heard you earlier crying about the fact that I now hold.
My connection's really bad. I got to go. Bye.
But remember, 3 years ago, I kicked your ass for this one. Remember, so you're the one that allowed that to happen.
And just like that, Haas, he bailed. He didn't want to hear it. What a chicken. Hey, Ace, come on, man. You did great. You did right out of it. Got him. Got him.
Well, gentlemen, I know we've been talking about all the things going on here with the year in review. But you know something, gentlemen? I think we need to take a pause for just a second. Because Night Owl's been talking about this for over an hour. And I want to throw this out here right now. Night Owl, I think we need to take a break because you yourself have said that you got something on your mind that you want to share. So, gentlemen, let's take a pause for just a moment and take part in a timeless Wrestle Talk Podcast Classic. That being the one, the only, the shoot and shout segment right here on the episode of the Wrestle Talk Podcast. So can we get some of that wonderful background music?
Wait. Before we hit the music, hold on. I actually have somebody that I want to bring on with me for this segment, because if there's anybody that can rant and complain that ever graced the halls of the FWWC, it is my sis and yours, ladies and gentlemen, the badass American diva, Susie Haas.
Hey.
Woo!
Thank you there, Night Owl. You know what? I'm going to tell you one thing, though. You talk about the shoot and shout. Well, let me just throw one thing out there at Ace, who took off in John's defense and mine as well.
That guy's a nerd.
John's had his in for 3 years. I've had mine for 2. Okay? And we did not, these belts weren't hung on us. We earned these titles. We earned them, and we continue to keep them because we earn them. So, Mr. Ace, if you have a problem with these belts being on us, do something about it. I dare you.
All right, Susie, on that note, why don't you just go ahead and give us your shoot and shout for the evening? Because we're going to go around the bell here, unless you're not ready, unless you need a little time to think here. but I'm sure that you probably have something tucked away that you're ready to go off about, because I've been waiting all night for this. And let me tell you, I got one for the ages. Go ahead, though, Susie. What do you got for us?
Well, my shoot and shout is actually wrestling related.
Okay.
Okay. And that is, some of these promotions out there. What were you thinking with this whole Monet thing? I mean, really? You hung 13 titles on her? What about your other talent? You're just going to give her these titles. She doesn't even have to work anymore. She just goes in the ring and plays with her hair and her nails and doesn't even work. While you have talent out there that's working that can't get anywhere because you're promoting her. Now she's starting to lose these titles. And what's it all for? What was the payoff? That's what I want to know. I don't think there's much of a payoff. And I think that if you're going to do something like that, there needs to be a decent payoff. And I just don't think there was one. I think it was a slap in the face to a lot of the female talent. And as a female wrestler myself, I wouldn't want to work for a company that didn't honor me enough to make her earn that title the way she should have. Just like I said to Ace, I earned these. And I intend to keep them because I earned them. And I intend to keep earning them. That's the good thing I can say about the FWWC. Unlike the rest of wrestling, we earn them. And when we keep them, we keep them. What has Monet done to really earn any of the titles that she has?
That's a good one. Damn, sis. Damn. You know what I realized, though? Yes, thank you. You know what I realized? We actually didn't even hit the music going into this segment. That's how sideways we are tonight on the show. So I will say this, Susie, that is a great shoot and shout, because I think all of us agree. I don't think, has there been a moment this evening where all of us had agreed on anything? I think this is the first time all night we actually agree.
Well, Night Owl, we can't agree on something else here.
You're not going to.
No. When you include this, we all have hardware.
Well, and Ace was fussing earlier about Haas and all his hardware. That's another thing. All the hardware on the show is because of his company. So you want to fuss, Ace? Look, your company is what put these on us. So.
Okay, you know what? I'm getting a little. Y'all are flossing, right? Everybody wants to floss tonight. Okay, just 1 second.
Here we go. And while we have a second, let me just say to the Wrestle Talk podcast family out there, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
You guys want to show off some hardware? Okay. Let me show you guys something. You see this right here? My hardware is too heavy to carry over my shoulder. I actually have to put it up on the wall. That's right. And it's not just my hardware. It is the hardware of the entire Wrestle Talk podcast, because some of you guys may have forgotten, but we have been honored by not one, not two, maybe even four separate state bodies or / state representatives. You guys see this? This is a recognition with an official stamp and signature. That is not an auto pen, my friends.
The gold one, too.
No auto pen here, okay? We have been recognized and acknowledged as being one of the most influential and powerful podcasts in the country. So if we're bragging, I wasn't trying to go there tonight, but everybody's flossing their gold. I got my gold too. Thank you, Susie, for pointing that out, because my gold is right here. And let me tell you something. It's so heavy that it takes all of us to carry it. I have to put it up on the wall. Not one person can carry this thing over their shoulder. This is Susie. This is Gabriel Arcin. This is Joe Lance. This is Hardcore Hoss. This is Ace. This is Luke Skywalker Roberts. This is Richard Rose. This is Sonny Money Mayo. This is the hundreds of guests that we've ever had. Everybody that's ever been in the comment section for the Wrestle Talk podcast. That's 531 episodes times 2.5 hours, y'all. Do the math yourself. So if we're going to do a little bragging and we're going to show off our gold, let me go ahead and join the party because I was getting a little jealous. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Okay, I thought the gold shades were going to do it for me. It's not quite enough. Okay, so I want to thank y'all for letting me do my thing because this here, I'll say it again, this gold is too heavy for one man to carry. This has to be carried by everybody that ever participated on any level. Even if you're a hater, we needed you to. Thank you. Thank you for the views. This is for y'all. This is the championship that matters. And I'm not going to waste everybody's time, but you can probably see over my shoulder. There's another one there. And there, I believe, 2 more to go along with it. So thank you for your contributions. And we don't do a lot of bragging around here. We actually like to run each other down and talk a lot of trash. That's how we keep each other humble. But if we're going to go through the exercise of patting each other on the back, let's go ahead and do it all the way. And I'll say this because we are closing out 2025 and we're nearing the end of the show. Round of applause for 531. Susie, come on. 531 episodes. I mean, come on, guys. It doesn't get any better than that. It really does not. So
you guys are the double champions. You need to figure out how to manage your hands in that situation.
She's new at this double champ thing. She's learning.
Oh,
there
man.
goes one. There goes one.
It's all right. It's all right. I got it back.
So anyway, we do have to get ready to wrap here, or at least I got to get ready to step away, guys. Susie, now that you've joined us, I do have to ask this because we haven't had a whole lot of talk. The FWWC has been off, and this will be very brief, so you don't have to go anywhere, Skywalker. The FWWC has been on break for a short period of time. Either you, Hoss, Gabe Arsen, you guys are all champions. Have you heard any word on when we may be getting back to work? That's the only question I'm going to ask about FWWC. And if not, when we might be able to get some of those answers. I'm curious.
Well, I do know that Haas and myself, I'm not sure about Arsene, but I know Haas and myself have a Fed matches coming up on, what is it, January 9th there, Haas, or the 6th?
January 9th, we have allowed all of the members of FED to pick their own opponents from, it could be from main roster, and each one of them have gone through and picked their opponents. Some of them we're still waiting on their promo to drop to tell us who they're challenging. But January 9th, they're going against them. And
I believe the challenge for me was Miss Yoko Kitsune. I mean, if she wants to take on the double champ, then all I can say to you, Miss Kitsune, if you happen to be listening, and I'll be putting my promo back out to you soon, sorry about your bad luck.
so January 9th is the next challenge that we'll be seeing in the FWWC. Other than that, haven't heard a word.
Okay, got it. Gabe, you got any insight for us?
Well, I don't know that I have any insight as far as scheduling goes. For the uninitiated, yours truly is currently a free agent. So I am not actually scheduled to compete in the FWWC. However, I actually wanted to tie this a bit into my shoot and shout segment because I have learned, especially after a certain 8-minute promo I cut after filming it at 1 o'clock in the morning, that it is much better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. And seeing as I have been exploring other avenues here, and seeing as I have a couple of things off my wish list, Gabriel Arsen's wish list, that I'd like to get here come Christmas time, and I hope that Santa can deliver. But one man, one individual will be able to give that to me, and I just want to call him out, so to speak, just to get his just to make my point clear, so he understands the thrust of my meaning. And that is Mr. CEO Dewan Mills. Is this proof enough of what I'm capable here in the FWWC? Are you ready? Are you finally ready to get yourself clean shaven, put on a fresh pair of boots, ready to come to work and square up with Gabriel Arsen? Because I have the date and time. It's all down to you, sir. And that is January 4th, Wrestle Kingdom 20, Gabriel Arsen versus the CEO for the first and last time.
Wait a minute. So everybody knows the CEO doesn't wrestle anymore. How did you talk him into this one?
I plan on doing my best right now.
Did you make him an offer you couldn't refuse?
Absolutely.
Wow, I love that. So that's your shoot and shout. That's your shoot and shout?
Absolutely.
I love that. Way to keep the train
From a
flowing.
very real place. I'm ready to square up, sir. I don't know that you're ready for me when it comes to Wrestle Kingdom.
Let's go. All right, Hardcore Hoss, you're up, baby. We're going to keep this thing flowing. And I'm sorry, I know I kind of jumped to FWWC there for a second. I just want to make sure, come on, guys, we're at the end of the year. We got to show the FWWC some love. Everybody's seeing the belts. They're like, where do those belts even come from? What the hell is going on in this podcast? I figured we'd give them a little bit of insight. But Hoss, the floor is yours, baby. You know what it is. Let us know what's got you ready to shoot and shout tonight.
My shoot and shout, you look at the time of year, you just look at a lot of things going on and take stock of those people that you have in your life and make sure you treat them with respect, because otherwise you may need them down the road and they just ain't going to be there. So, treat everybody with the respect that they deserve and don't take them for granted. So, just as simple as that. That's going to be my shoot and shout.
Skywalker, I know you've been revving up your engines, baby. What do you got for us?
Well, gentlemen, ladies, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm gonna take a complete right turn here. I've been looking for a long time this year for one Christmas present. Just one. I've been to 8 stores, and I finally found a store that wanted and had it in stock. They wanted $260. The answer? A digital picture frame. I don't know when it happened, but they're not that hard to come by. Stock your shelves. We're close to Christmas. We're close to the holiday season. Make sure we get those things taken care of. Kind of got me a little bit frustrated that it's been so hard to find one. But before we go, I do want to take one more shoot out here. I want to wish everybody a very happy and safe holiday season. Again, we right now are a little bit less than 26 hours now from being the Christmas holiday. On behalf of myself, both of the promotions I work for, Dynamo Pro Wrestling, CHWA, the Wrestle Talk Podcast, the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, all the things that I'm part of, I want to go ahead and give a very special shout out. Wish everybody a very happy and healthy holiday season. And Night Owl, I'm going to go ahead here real quick before I have to bid us all adieu here this evening. I do want to share something, and if we could go ahead and bring it up, it would be awesome. I want to bring this up here. As I said earlier on as a tease, hands down, probably one of the coolest, if not the coolest professional wrestling poster I've ever seen in my career. And if we can bring it up on the screen, well, maybe we can bring it up on the screen. I hope we can bring it up on the screen.
Give us a second. We're working on it.
Hey, I get you. There you go. CHWA New Beginnings on Saturday, January 24th with the King of the Hills Rumble, an opportunity. The winner gets a guaranteed shot at the CHWA Undisputed Championship. And again, you see right there, tickets are available $15 for 13 and up, kids 6 to 12 or $5 each. Southbound 157 in Edwardsville, Illinois. I'm going to tell you right now, you got a lot of great wrestlers there. Again, when it comes down to it, I find this poster really unique. It's supposed to represent the CHWA Tag Team Champion Switchblades, the Incinerator Sean Blaze, and Switchblade Garrett Shanks. We have Alexis Valentine, the one-up champion. We have the Anomaly IP Mason, the international champion, and the current CHWA Undisputed Champion, the one-man zoo, L. Ride. Again, from top to bottom, a great night. Great food also while you're there. I believe last month the item du jour was actually turkey legs available, just like you would get a lot of the amusement parks or fairs. Make it a point, check them out for tickets. You can check them out on social media. Saturday, January 24th, CHWA New Beginnings, featuring the King of the Hills Rumble in Edwardsville, Illinois. And ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of myself, I want to say have a happy and safe holiday season. I'm going to turn things over to my broadcast colleagues. Night Owl, I want to go ahead and I want to throw this to you. I want to sit, as a wise man once said, I want to sit back because you've been talking about this shoot and shout. To quote a very wise man, I want to sit back, I want to admire, and hopefully I can give you praise. Everyone, it's been a great evening, and I'll be seeing
Skywalker,
you.
I got one thing for you, and I want to do my shoot and shout. I think that's important, but did we not have a little video that we needed to play? It was like a memoriam or something like that.
You know what? Tell you what, Night Owl.
I think I got the clip ready here. If you need to.
Well, let's go ahead and take care of your shoot and shout first, and then once we take care of the shoot and shout, like I said, I got to take care of things. But let's let you take care of your shoot and shout, and then we can take care of that.
Okay, let's do it. All right, guys. Let me go ahead and do my best. I feel like I haven't ridden this bicycle in a very long time, but I'm going to keep it short and simple, okay? These audio clips, y'all are killing it. This shit's crazy. It's actually perfect. And what even makes this more perfect is that Skywalker's shoot and shout was about well, that wasn't about. He was just talking about a poster, and that's actually my shoot and shout tonight. And I'm not going to scream and yell, but I am going to maintain a very serious tone. Okay. Dear wrestling professionals, your poster, your profile pic, your headshot should be a key element to your arsenal as you weave your way through the complicated world of professional wrestling as a professional wrestler. The amount of talent that don't have a decent picture to share with the promoter, the reporter doing a story on them, the podcast host that is gracious enough to ask them to come on their show to help them with their exposure, all need a decent photograph for you and from you to represent you properly. If your picture is you in a suit in your cousin's wedding in 2007, that is not a great picture for us to use in the promotional poster. I think people forget the first part of the phrase professional wrestler, the professional part. It's like trying to be an actor in Hollywood without a decent headshot. It's like saying you're a YouTuber, but you never do anything but go live for a minute and a half at a time. You don't produce, and people can't benefit from what you're trying to present to them inside the ring if they don't even know you're on the card. I know guys in the business who fight tooth and nail to get their image on the poster, to have the privilege to be on the poster. And I so often run into guys that similarly wish they were on the poster but can't even provide a decent headshot. I don't care if it's WWE all the way to a fantasy wrestling league. If you don't have a good poster pick, what are you doing with your life? You're showing up to lifeguard duty without the proper equipment to go out and save people. You are showing up to a NASCAR race without a pit crew or gasoline. If you want to be taken seriously in this business, I'm sure promoters like Evil Jim Yunt, Herb Simmons, Billy Simmons, so on and so forth, all value talent that can put on a good show. But what they value even more than that is getting people in the seat of that show so that they can finance the next show. So if you claim to care about this business on any level, ring announcer on up, referee on up, commentator on up, at least show up to work prepared. The amount of people, even in the podcast business, that we encounter that are not prepared with something as simple as a photograph for a poster picture is absolutely mind-blowing. Guys, it's 2025. You have a cell phone. Prop it up, set the timer, get a decent background, take a couple of decent pics. And for God's sakes, if you're going to take the image and you're a champion, wear the championship. You notice how everybody here on the podcast, even though it's just a fantasy group, with the exception of Skywalkers, it's a Hall of Fame belt, came out and represented their championship. That's their job. It's your freaking job. And if you want people to take you seriously, that is the bare minimum of what you should be doing when you show up to a promoter's door trying to get booked. I said I wasn't going to yell, but that I was going to maintain a very serious tone. Hopefully and usually I try to be comical with my shoot and shot segments, if you guys remember from years gone by. But it is depressing to see the amount of people who want to be in this business that don't want to do the very bare minimum. Me and Arsen we were blue in the face talking about all the AAA lucha stuff about no respect. They're not treating it serious. You know why you don't get treated seriously, guy? Because you don't take yourself seriously enough to show up with a damn poster picture. Jeez freaking Louise, ladies and gentlemen. That's my shooting shot for the night.
And let me tell you, as somebody who does the posters for Wrestle Talk, the person who does the Fed posters, the FWWC posters, Night Owl ain't joking. Believe me, when I put them posters out there, if he doesn't like the picture, we nix that poster. So believe me, Night Owl ain't joking with what he's saying. And as somebody who does the posters, they look so much better when you take a little pride in taking your picture.
Be a professional, man. Damn.
Yep.
Shit's crazy. Well, listen, here's what I'll jump in and say because I want everybody else to do their thing. I do respectfully have to bow out. I did not initially intend on being here for the entirety of the show, but I missed you guys.
We missed you too.
Thank you for still letting me be a part of this. This is like personally, outside of my family and stuff, the best Christmas gift that I could have ever gotten because Joe and Rick let me come in on this thing. And now I feel like it's mine. And it went from that to like hours, like I was saying with this gimmick. Like I genuinely feel like it's ours. So thank you guys for allowing me to still feel like I'm a part of this thing and have so much fun doing it. And I think I almost blew a vein out earlier when I was losing my mind and I miss it so much. So I'm going to bow out gracefully because I always talk too much and I don't want to be the person that have the last word because I'm going to make it go another 10 minutes. But I just genuinely want to say thank you, Susan. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, JP. Thank you, Gabriel. And thank you to everybody else on the team that has kept Wrestle Talk Podcast going, knowing that it's been 30 plus episodes since I've been gone and to see the show still thriving. We're sloppy. We got a lot of work to do. People like to call off way too often. Tons of stuff I can complain about, but we're still here, ladies and gentlemen. And that alone makes us winners. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I consider you all personal friends on top of being business partners. And I am genuinely excited to see what Wrestle Talk Podcast does throughout the rest of the year and going into 2026. Man, I love you guys. I'm grateful for you guys. And outside of this podcast nonsense, if you ever need anything from me, give me a shout. I promise you I'll drop everything and do what I can to help you, man. I love you guys. God bless you. God bless Perry, who wasn't able to be here. Dewan tried to come on. We didn't make enough time for him. We love you, Dewan. God bless you. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. Gabe, I know you're looking for him. He may be ducking you. I don't know what that's about. Or I don't know if you had anything to do with blocking him from coming on. I've got my own questions, but I'm just going to leave it at this, man. Thank you guys for everything. I'll be talking to you guys all in the very near future, and keep it going. It's been fantastic, and I can't wait to see what happens in the future, man. I tip my cap to y'all. Good night.
All right. Now, joining us here on the program. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've still got a little more Wrestle Talk podcast still to come here tonight on the program. But before we go, and we're going to come back here in just a brief few moments, you're going to have Gabriel Arsene, Susie Haas, and Hardcore Haas here on the program. As Renee talked about a few minutes ago, we want to share a thank you to everyone who has helped make the Wrestle Talk podcast such a big part of the internet wrestling community and the wrestling community as in whole. But we're going to go ahead and take just a moment, about a minute and a half, and recognize those individuals who this year are no longer with us, those wrestlers that have moved on in life. And we want to go ahead and play in just a few moments. We're going to play a memorial video for those that have passed away this year. And when we return to the Wrestle Talk podcast, it'll be Hardcore Haas, Susie Haas, and Gabriel Arsene right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. So Hardcore Haas, if you would be so kind.
Wow. Gentlemen, I'm just going to say to everybody out there, to the people in the comment sections, to the rest of the cast and crew, to Night Owl, his family, and everybody involved with the Wrestle Talk podcast. I want to thank you guys for letting me do what I do and letting me help the way I help. And I just want to say Merry Christmas. And I look forward to next year to each and every one of you. Arsene, I hope you're going to have yourself a long run as champion in the FWWC. Got your back, brother. And Haas, I'll see you around anyway. But anyway, to everybody out there, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and thanks for all your love and support of the Wrestle Talk podcast. And I am going to back out and let you two close things out.
It's always down to us, Haas, every time. We're left here to pick up the scraps. Everybody's all ready and willing, right? When the chips are on the table, but when we got to start picking up the crumbs, who's there?
Every time it's always 2.5, 3 hours, it never fails between you and me. But no, I'm going to let you get the last word in, but before I do, I said earlier, this time of year, it's tough for a lot of people, and a lot of people really get down. And, our good friend Jeremy Karp, he wasn't able to join us tonight, but as he always does, I want to throw out there just this time of year, so many people feel like they're by themselves. So many people really just really get depressed, and you're never alone. There's always someone there, and so just reach out, and there's dial 988, and for suicide and crisis prevention hotline. Someone is there. Someone's willing to talk with you. Someone's willing to be there for you. So just accept any help you can get, and just really pray for each person. It is that time of year.
It says it all in there, man. It's you are never alone. So always remember there is somebody there who wants to listen and wants to hear you. So don't ever feel like you're voiceless. So did we want to cover the sponsors one last time before we close out the show here, Haas?
All right. So
if you mind if I handle this one?
Go ahead and hit them.
All righty. As always, ladies and gentlemen, the Wrestle Talk podcast would like to thank all of our great sponsors. That includes Retro Zone, Painter's Dream Productions, head by Big Daddy P, the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, Doomed Outfitters, that's head by our one Ace. Hit them up if you want your own custom belts. Makes them fast, makes them effective. And World Domination Wrestling Alliance. And, of course, the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. This has been the Wrestle Talk podcast. I am the young lion with the old soul. We are with the longest reigning champion in FWWC history, from Nightmare Jones to Badass American Diva to the CEO to Big Daddy P to the Night Owl, Renee Martinez, Sonny Money Mayo, Luke Roberts, and if I'm forgetting anybody, but as always, our Wrestle Talk podcast family. Thank you once again. And remember, it's not where you've been, it's not where you're from, it's where you're at, and that's right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast.